Hello, Twitch TV. This is Idiotsayswhut Twitches. We're doing another episode, and this time we're talking about Spider-Man. In fact, we're talking about Spider-Man versus Spider-Man versus Spider-Man, and only Spider-Man can win. And that is what we're going to debate. It should be fun. It should be entertaining. So feel free to comment and chat with us about the same subject because we are going to argue, and it should be fun. Right, Tim?
Yeah. The winner's going to be Sony regardless in the grand scheme
True.
of things. I'm ready to debate it. I'm ready to be right on this one. I'm ready to hear your wrong answers and rebuttal with correct answers, and maybe learn a few people out there on Twitch. We're going to learn some stuff. If not,
Tim's going to give us an education.
Or it's going to fail miserably. We're going to see how it goes. But I'm very confident in this. I'm going to stand in the pocket. I take a good stance on this, I believe.
Well, listen. The fact is that it's always interesting to see what's what. But you saw the movie. I have not seen the new movie. I have seen the rest of it, and I have. Here's the thing: is that I wasn't really a fan of the first rendition of Spider-Man with Mr. Tobey. The second one, I thought it was more truthful to the source material, but I really don't like Andrew. What's his face? He just looks weird.
Garfield.
Yeah, he just looks funny. He just doesn't look like Spider-Man. You know what I mean? And personally, I think Tom Holland has done a great job in his playing of Spider-Man. I have not seen the new one, but I thought the other ones were very well done. All right. So, but tell me, Tim.
Is that what's well? Because I'm going to take the stance. I actually did watch the newest one. I actually did watch it. Don't tell me how, but I will say, if you do watch it in movie theaters, be kind for the guy filming it behind you and sit the fuck down. You ruin all the bootlegs for people like me. I mean, like me, not me, but people like me. I would never do that. Like
Tim adjacent. Let's call him Tim adjacent. Tim adjacent.
So that's a little just etiquette.
Walkie-talkies are neat. Welcome.
Hey, thanks. And dapper.
Dapper.
It's the tie.
It's the tie that sells it, Tim.
Yeah, I know. It's not the hoodie.
Your tie, my Batman chair. They're like, well, those are important people.
That they're going somewhere. They know that.
It's probably to the fridge and back.
The hospital, the refrigerator.
The hospital.
The hospital.
Yes.
I had just a little off top. I have to say it like that because of that one tooth that I have. That one tooth is kind of crooked, and it stops my tongue dead in its tracks. It's like halt. So I have to really enunciate some things, and then the rest, if you hear me mispronounce, it's just because I do that a lot. I've been listening to the recaps. I just am a mumbling fool for like an hour and a half. I can't believe
the best part is,
watch it.
Listen, at least you're close enough that everyone knows what you're trying to say. And I think that's fair because I know a lot of people who have survived that way. So,
well, walkie-talkie, since you're out there, thank you for watching and commenting and calling us dapper. Did you watch it? What do you think about Spider-Man? What's your favorite Spider-Man? And have you watched the new one, No Way Home, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
I did watch it. And I'm going to say it is, without giving too much away, it's the Christmas story of the Marvel franchise. It's just, to me, this is going to the point in cinema where does nostalgia and fan service make a great movie.
Okay.
So, and that's all I'll say. I won't give anything else away. What I will say is it's an enjoyable movie. It is an enjoyable movie for any fan of any genre of Spider-Man. I'm just going to be a snob about it because I'm bald and I'm venomous. I'm jealous. So I'm going to take it out on Spider-Man. He's young. He got a college scholarship. He was always in college in some of them. So fuck, dude.
Yeah, he's super smart, and Toby Maguire is the OG. Didn't see the new one yet.
See, I've already got
Toby
one person on my side because this is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I think the first one, hands down, is not even the best Spider-Man. One of the best trilogies in comic books. And a lot of people are going to go, what about this or that? And then they go, oh, stay true. They don't realize comic books have been going on for 60 years. You do.
Yeah.
Most people do. And they don't even follow their own rules. They retcon them from week to week. So why do we expect the movie to do that? So I could judge more my movie on tone and the characters that play in that development of tone in their world. So I believe, personally, the first trilogy with Tobey Maguire's is by far the best and one of the best ever.
Okay.
So
So
rebuttal. Toss it to you, volley. If there was a score thing, I think I got 10. It's not love. I think it's like a 10-0. I think I at least got something there.
15,
you're going to just
15 love, but anyways, it's
15
not. Is the terminology you're looking for?
I didn't think I was due the whole 15. That's I thought.
I'm just saying, stick to sports. You chose that option and you got it wrong. That's on you. I get to make fun of it. That's fair.
It's been a while since I played Wii tennis, so you're right. Should have stuck to my own expertise.
15 love.
Thank you.
That's how the week goes. So this is my thing. Is that in the original start of the Marvel Universe, which was Sony heavy, we know, and Sony people are trash. Let's just start there. Okay. They're the worst. But what they did, and this is a issue I have had ongoing, is that there was a lack of respect for source material in many early Marvel movies that were done by Sony specifically. Okay. And while I don't disagree with their putting together a movie and, giving it plot coherence, right, is that each time they've kind of made a mishmash of a bunch of different stories and different storylines, like the idea that Spider-Man shoots it out of his body versus having to make it himself into little capsules is one issue where I'm like, listen, that was a very new transition that they had made, and then they were like, oh, his emotions are causing him unable to. I'm like, that's a dumb plot line, and it's very just catering to ridiculous things. We need live action Spider-Man, Spider-Verse with Tobey, Garfield, and Holland, which I believe this one has. That's what the rumors.
I can't confirm or deny. There has been
and that's
rumors.
appreciated. I appreciate that.
I will say it does. If you're a wrestling person, you're going to pop. It's like the Royal Rumble of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just it's really cool. And I do and they stay true to every person. I'll say too.
Okay.
Just throw that out there.
Which
I don't want to say anymore. It's a good movie on that aspect. I want to say why I gave a few hints on that. I just don't want to do too much. Here's the problem with the movie, and this is where my main crutch is. I can't tell you too much because everything hinges on the plot. The plot is literally a fourth, going to be a plot. A spoiler. Yeah. So why even do that?
Having read Spider-Man comics for quite some time, so I was more X-Men, a fan of X-Men. My brother was a fan of Spider-Man, but we would read each other's comics, which was fine. So I wasn't a huge fan of Spider-Man because, in all honesty, he's kind of a dick, and Mary Jane was way out of his league, hands down.
He's got small dick energy, no matter what university. He's always the nerd, and he's always like, I get angry.
Emotions, and you're like, no, that doesn't jive for me, right? Because, and that's why I've enjoyed Tom Holland so much, is that yes, he had those emotions, but he also had that gotta try, gotta make the effort, because he was trying to follow Iron Man, which is a whole other set of comic book stories. But this is the
I
thing.
think this is going to be. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It seems like they're alluding to a quasi Sinister Six type fight showdown, right? And that's what I'm seeing from all the trailers and just the different parts of it, where it's multiverse related. And you're going, okay, it's very simple to make a Sinister Six, where they just team up and we're gonna do stuff, right? Totally makes sense. So I see that happening, and then also the amount of fanfare around Toby and Garfield being in their universes are crossing over. It makes sense that they would be in it, but I've not seen the movie. I can't comment on that. That's just what I know from just reading Spider-Man comics, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all had it's. We are all hoping it takes. It's. They didn't ruin the multiverse, the
Yeah.
animated. That was
Well,
really
yeah. Into
good.
the Spider-Verse was
Yeah.
fantastic.
So, but here's what I'll make a stance. Even with this new trilogy that just recently come out with, I think this is the third one of the new Spider-Man Tom Holland trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the stance that the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire one is the best, and that's what I'm gonna say, and maybe you can disagree. I'll make one point, you volley back like I assume they did in high school debate. They never had
Are we going to
fundies.
pretend Fantastic Four never happened? Yes, that is correct. We're
I
going
mean,
to.
they gotta stop trying too. Like that's
Okay,
the thing.
Fantastic Four, the comic book, has so much reading. Like, they had a couple times where it was a crossover into the Fantastic Four storyline, and reading it uh, was just a nightmare. It was
Well,
just a
see,
nightmare.
to go into it, that Sony is an awful corporation. I believe that's why they canceled the comic, or like why they don't bring it up as much, and why they don't make any more X-Men characters, because Marvel owns still Fantastic Four movie rights and the X-Men
Yeah,
rights, and in their contract, any future X-Men Sony creates too. So they just kind of stopped making new X-Men, don't really make merch because it all, if that's why you're wondering why you don't see that stuff anymore, it's basically a corporation petty moves, and we're hurting for it. But who really needs at this point? There's too many Funko Pops anyways. Do we really need more? I think it's probably okay. I think the first one works on tone. I think from the beginning to ending, it tells a story. It tells an arc. Each each movie is great on its own separate merit, but it's the same as what. And I think it also progresses the character. Tobey Maguire's acting is amazing. And I'm going to say it's easy for Tom Holland to nail it out of the park
okay,
when you're surrounded by,
a lot of talent.
um, yeah, Oscar award winning talent all
Yeah,
around you and a proven narrative. Two
yes,
people have tried to do the same story he's doing. They know where they fucked up. Andrew Garfield, we're talking to you, which I will agree. Love is charismatic, but that's a key point of how a writing and style of a movie can ruin a character. I'm talking to you, Zack Snyder, Watchmen, and how you can fucking muddy some waters with your dark ass tone with the Spider-Man franchise as well. We all love the Snyder cut, but the all reality is the reason DC is not prospering is because you're in the wrong area. Your tone's more Marvel. DC is more uplifting goody two shoes, in my opinion. And we
sure.
need more camp in there. We don't need more Josh Whedon. We need camp bullshit, in my opinion, in DC. And that's what they're getting ruined in my opinion. Oh, yeah. And that's getting to that. Getting to that. Macho Man, Bone Saw at the beginning. That's the origin story.
Yeah, that was great.
One of the best printed out.
I agree, and
All the way through.
that's why specifically
So
why
yeah,
right
I
there.
would say there you go. Yeah, I was was it a Nacho Man ranch salad this year for Halloween,
It's so good.
which really sucks because people he's been gone for a while. Rest in
Yeah.
peace. And there's not as many wrestling fans, so everyone just said, "Are you a redneck stunt man?" I was like, "Oh." I was like, "It's the tassels, huh?" but it needs more tassels. That's the one thing this guy did say. Yes, but we showed the picture. It's a jacket with tassels, and what I've known is jackets need more like tassels or just things hanging off of them.
Just more
On a,
fanfare in general, just to be
dude,
able
on
to.
a windy day, you're your own album cover. You're just like, it's amazing. Every car you get out of is like a fucking theatrical moment. It's
Every
pretty fucking
picture is
cool.
you modeling. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
it's a windy.
you're just like it's really cool.
Fantastic.
I don't know if it would be so cool now with the winds being downright deadly. You don't want to be
Yeah.
outside. I'd be holding my red hat like, still capture the picture, babe. We're gonna send it in. Uh, but no, Tobey Maguire, best character arc. I also think it's the best shot and developed in the style. I think it plays throws to the old uh, throws to like the style and look of it to comic books itself for that time. So I'll volley it back to you, man. There we go.
Okay. This is the problem: is that they put twists. They put different twists. They tried to make the material their own by changing how everything works. Okay.
All right.
I understand that. I just don't agree with it. Right. So you have just a smorgasbord of different storylines and different versions being smashed together, and like you have 15 different versions, like with Andrew Garfield with regards to Uncle Ben. That was in Ultimates, and like all sorts of stuff where you're going, this is like there's a bunch of different stories happening, and they're smashing it together, and now they have a new ending, and you're like, that's not the story already worked in the comic book. Why are you doing this, right? And it's the same thing. Like I remember I went to go see the first Avengers. It was at an AMC theater up here, which has like 1,000 seats. Okay. I sat in it, watched the movie at the end where Thanos shows up, and it was one of the first Easter eggs where he says to fight Earth is to court death, and Thanos stands up, which is a classic line from Thanos' comic book character. I was like, yes! It was like me and three other people in the entire theater knew exactly what was happening. And everyone else was like, what? What is that? I'm like, no, 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 no. This is for me. I'm a fan, right? This isn't for you, you fucking loser. Okay. You just came to watch a cool movie with superheroes and stuff. No, this is my childhood being retold, right? And even though they didn't go exactly the way that it did in the comic books, they found a new way to get the same result. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. But I found that with Spider-Man, they didn't do that. They didn't give me the same story with different elements. They gave me the same elements with a different story. Do you understand? That's
No,
my
no.
problem.
I guess what you're getting. What I would say is, hmm, that's a good point. That's a good point. I ain't gonna lie on that. My volley would be is you for their tone, the character made sense for
Yes.
Spider-Man's the first trilogy. That's what a lot of people like. I'll bring up the notorious scene where I was waiting for you to do it, but it's about time.
Which
Uh,
notorious scene?
Tobey Maguire dancing in all black jazz music. Everyone hates it. Everyone hates it. It's ridiculous. That is as hardcore as Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man could get in the whole fucking thing.
Okay.
Like, and in my
And
and second, so like that would be my thing. Also, the reason Venom had to be the way he is, the reason death wasn't the object in one movie, because it wouldn't have fit the narrative. Venom had to be the way he was because in this character arc, the Green Goblin was our Joker, was our
right.
main nemesis all the way through. We
Yes.
couldn't have him be outshined by Venom, even though he should have got more screen time. Was it right for him to be in it in the first place? We can debate that. That could be something there. I would give on
I
that.
will concede what you're saying. I see what you're saying, and I don't say that you're wrong. I think you're definitely right. My issue is why? Why did that have to happen? Because what they're trying to show is that his personality had completely changed to what he would never do as normal Spider-Man. which I'm like, yes, I get it. But the same thing was done in a very different way with an even better result already. Why are you fucking with it?
I think it's because it wasn't. See, this is why. Here's the thing, and this is what's going to get to. And you made a key point, and this is where it's actually getting it. This movie, as you said, was fan service to you. So I'm going to get some things wrong because I
Yeah.
only have YouTube video knowledge, and sometimes I am passive. Didn't Thanos fall in love with death? And
Yes.
that's why he wanted to give her everything, basically, and that's
Yes. It was to
is the
please
fact
her. It was to please her to kill half the universe. So
they.
what they took a different arc. So this is the problem is in the comic book, you have a lot of celestial beings like eternity, the void, like there's not the void, epic, and I forget what the other one was, but there was a bunch of universe level entities that would be extremely difficult to display on camera. Right, like in any cinematic universe, it would be very difficult to do it justice. So they took a different thing. Was essentially that Thanos was like, no, this is for the betterment of the universe. I know what's right for the universe, and he's not wrong. Not wrong, but it's a horrible way. So in actuality, like, look, what Thanos did was the right thing. It was just horrible to experience to know that life had failed in such a way that the only way to do it was to reset. Right?
Yeah, yeah. He he was one of those. The reason why he's so loved and is because and just like he's not bad just because I'm evil. He had layers to him. Ultimately, he is evil, and but it's also you could if you could see the different
Ooh, is that me?
shades of development. So I think um,
Okay.
what I do know is they didn't do Thanos and Death because it wouldn't fit the narrative. They
Correct.
couldn't do Eddie Brock, is that his name? Venom,
Yeah.
correctly in that narrative world either the way they did it. So they had to do
Correct.
something like that.
And
And they did show the symbiote.
symbiote.
God
Yeah.
damn it, what is it?
Oh, that's right.
That character development, how it works with the I think with the toast.
Yeah.
Because with Tobey Maguire, the evilest he got is I like jazz music. Ooh,
And
I
kissing
should.
ladies.
I
Ooh.
didn't tip the taxi cab driver on the way here. Ha
Oh.
ha!
And my
Skit
collar
scat.
goes up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like I
and
get.
Eddie Brock wanted
Yeah.
to murder him. So
Yeah.
like that was the thing. Like they tried to make it where it was a progression instead of like him starting out as a murderous dude in prison. Maybe that's how it worked out. If I think I'm
No, no,
correct.
no. So in actuality, that was source material that they did respect. Was that Spider-Man kind of screwed Eddie Brock over, and Eddie Brock's entire world came crashing down because of what Peter Parker did. So what happened?
Uh,
This is the thing: is that the symbiote was with Peter Parker. Peter Parker rejected the symbiote, but the symbiote was found by Eddie Brock, and they realized that they hate the same person. So the symbiote drove him crazy enough to become Venom. All right. But Eddie Brock in the comic book is already a beefy, massive guy. He's a jock. And he's like, yeah, you know what? Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock's awesome. Right? So easily manipulated by the symbiote and so on and so forth, right? Whereas Tom Hardy has done what's a more updated version of Venom, where Venom, uh, well, in their universe, he never went with Spider-Man at this point, right? So,
Walkie talkie, I like your comment in there. I've been thinking about it. I think that's what we're all wanting to see, and I think Sony wants to give that to us as well. I
well,
just think
yeah, two
I
short
think
guys
it's more.
fighting.
I, I think it's more just contracts at this point because right now, what are they on like phase 8 of
Yeah,
this?
yeah. Phase
Like
four, phase four, yeah, I think phase
you're
four.
talking to the guy that's just maybe hit the main points. Like I don't like Iron Man. Don't I don't, it was
Iron
just
Man's easily disliked.
he didn't appeal to me. The Thor movies I heard were good, but I just never watched them. I
So the
I
first
watched the
one,
Ang Lee Hulk, so yeah, I
yeah,
still have that face.
yeah,
So
yeah. Um, and did you see they had Norton Incredible Hulk? because that was actually
No, I
really
heard it
good.
was really good.
It was a great. See, this is what Marvel is doing really well is they're making and this is also what Nolan, what's his name, who did Batman, Christopher
Yes,
Nolan.
no.
Christopher Nolan, he made Batman real.
Hmm.
And in the MCU, they're making it possible for these things to happen. They're making logical connections without as much crazy universal fanfare where you're going, no, no, no. There's a multiverse. So they ease you into it very, very nicely, right? So yes, there are aliens. By the way, they're crazy aliens. This alien is a planet. Like they're slowly easing things in, but they're making a lot of those logical connections along the way. Spider-Man and Venom have their own story. And the problem is that there's so much now intertwined, especially look, the success of the Spider-Verse and it was a great movie. It was a spectacular movie. They did a great job, even just with the animation and everything. It was just, and the renditions of everyone fantastic. I love the question was how does the Kingpin wipe his butt? Because all the pictures so big, you're like, this is impossible.
Hmm.
Anyway, but that's the whole thing, right? So now you have a system where Spider-Man, I feel like they made logical connections, but connections that anyone could make. There was no razzmatazz to the story. It was just a hodgepodge, it was leftover soup. Okay.
Oh, you mean in the okay? You're talking in the first trilogy, the Tobey Maguire one. It was just he. It was a disaster in storyboard,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Don't get me wrong. Listen, was it a good movie? Yes. Did they? I understand what you're saying, and you have opened my eyes to that. Whereas they did as much as they could with what they were doing, because they weren't number one. I don't think they had the technology or the budget to do what is happening now with Spider-Man. I don't. I just don't think that
Well,
they could have.
also, God, I don't want to talk. I do believe, I'll just say vagueness. There
Yeah,
was a certain tragedy that happened in America during that time where I
also
do
true.
believe they had to remove some scenes and do some stuff, which is a big deal at that time as well. CGI took
Forever.
just a ridiculous amount of.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about the first Toy Story and like someone's hair took like 3 months just to figure out how it worked. That was the first
No.
time. And
And
now it's even weird because I heard Violet's hair and the new Impossibles had to have its own
Incredibles.
little, yeah,
Yeah.
incredible. Sorry, had to have its own little, and Coco, that animation, same as well. They had to do some weird stuff with that.
Monsters Inc. was a turning point where they could animate all the individual hairs on Sully, and they were able to do it the fastest they ever could, and that because they changed, I guess, the rendering process or something specific to it. So, and that's one of the things that these production houses have. Like they'll have a patent on a specific rendering process, so they can do all that kind of stuff. Because you're right, like to doing each individual hair, you're like, God, that's awesome. And when the first Spider-Man movies came out, you couldn't do what you can do now. Like the stuff with the Iron Man suit and the Iron Spider suit, where he can and just and come over him. You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that. What 5 years ago,
Right.
right? And the first Spider-Man was what, early 2000s. When did it come out?
And you guys, it sucks because all I'm saying is now that we talk about it, it's shining a lot of light on why the response is so good on the new movie, on just
Oh,
how you talk and stuff, shine
yeah.
light. But what I will say, here's my rebuttal. Okay, what do you remember about the first Amazing Spider-Man? What do
Amazing
you
Spider-Man
remember
was.
about the second Amazing Spider-Man?
So I remember in the second Amazing Spider-Man was the death of what's her face,
Gwen.
Gwen Stacy,
Yeah.
and that was done really well. I thought that was
Yeah, it
really, really.
was
It was
done.
very, 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 very accurate to source material.
Tom Holland, what do you remember about his first one?
Oh, the first one was the boat, holding the boat together, and
Second one?
hold on, and also was him under all the rubble when the vulture had destroyed the building, and him doing the
Oh,
push-up where he's got to save Aunt May. That is a huge thing.
Keaton's just good in anything, by the way.
Keaton is Batman in real life. I swear to you. I'm telling
Just
you,
good.
Batman is murdered. I love it.
I'm
You
a
heard?
snob. I love Birdman. I love that movie.
I still
Fina.
haven't seen it. I'm.
Oh,
I
you
don't
own
know.
land and you let this Ritter get you in that. Oh my God, you should
You
feel
know what?
embarrassed.
I really wanted. I've wanted to see it for the longest time, but I never had an opportunity to. I was like, that looks really interesting. Didn't know anything about it. The one thing I saw was how Michael Keaton thought he was going to win the Oscar and didn't, and I was like, oh, because he put his. They showed panning to the winner, and he put away his speech. And I was like, oh.
Here's here's what happened. Why he should have won, just on an acting
Yeah,
standpoint.
because he was 30 hours per frame. Took 9 months. Oh my god.
That makes sense.
Oh god, that's a nightmare.
What was it? What was I talking about?
Thanks,
What were we just
walkie-talkie.
talking? Huh?
We were talking. I said thanks, walkie-talkie.
Oh yeah, thank you, dude. Keep going.
We're talking about Michael Keaton. Have you seen Spotlight?
Oh, hold on. Birdlight, Birdman.
Birdman, yes.
It is a continuous movie. They had to work like
Like he
it's a
doesn't stop.
3-shot movie. They've done it in 3 or 4 takes. I could count the takes on it. It's an hour and a half long. So Edward Norton, even Gwen Stacy, her actor is in this. Zach Galifianakis, he plays this character as it goes around, and literally, it's 3 cuts. So imagine as an actor, you don't get to do a scene and cut. You have to practice. This is how intricate it got. They had to build a special scene for walking and talking dialogue and count their steps. They had to count their steps and then build the set around their steps and then film it. And think about this. If one boom mic gets in frame, start all over from the minute 1. It doesn't matter if that
No
scene was
cuts.
supposed to be 45 minutes, you got to start all the way over. A perfect example is this. If you watch Mr. Crinkle, there's a video by
No.
it's Primus, Mr. Crinkle. Tell me what it's all about. That's a one-shot music video where a bunch of clown and entertainment people just walk around in circles. They did it all in one shot. There's a few legendary ones. Original Old Boy, I do believe their legendary fight sequence in the hall is one shot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it gives something to the movie, and when you see it, it's almost an unnerving experience seen through Michael Keaton's eyes and his character's eyes.
Well, number one, he's an incredible actor. There's
Amazing.
no question there. Did you see the movie Spotlight with him?
I have not seen that yet.
It's a rough movie, but it's a damn good performance. And this is there's also what is it called? It's Samuel Jackson and Tommy Lee Jones, and it's a play. It's about what is it called? Sunset Limited or something like that. Essentially, I forget which one of them, but one of them was going to kill himself, and the other one stopped him. So they go to the one guy's house who stopped him and try and talk it out. And it's all one scene. It's a play originally, and they do it one shot, the whole thing, just the 2 guys having a conversation. And I find that there are only very few actors who can do that.
Yeah, Walking Pacific Heights was a great. That's a lot of people underappreciate. He plays a tenant psychopath that literally sublets some guy's house and just becomes the worst tenant ever and ruins this dude's life. I think it's Nick Nolte as the owner. Have you seen this, Dino?
No.
Pacific Heights, if you can't see, um, Dino doesn't have NordVPN. With NordVPN, he gets blocked because he's in Canada. He can't watch good old fashioned American cinema down here. So, hey, NordVPN, give us a fucking call, man.
Give us a call, man.
Man, we are like perfect for you. We're literally your demographic. But Pacific Heights, some guy rents out his apartment, half his house. And Michael Keaton shows up like the perfect dude, charming as shit. Like Michael Keaton, Beetlejuice. Fucking awesome. And then he turns into a complete psychopath. Like Cape Fear De Niro style almost, and ruins this guy's life. because they keep trying to get him out, but legally they can't. So it's one of those things. Well, hey,
Matthew Modine,
walkie-talkie,
Melanie
you're a
Griffith.
wet dreams too. I'm sopping down here. That's why he's got that chair with all the fabric. I know better. I'm just sitting in one of those plastic lawn chairs. I just rinsed it off with the hose.
Such a
But,
horrible image.
but you're going to get to my point, and Dino was cracking it. But he was saying what my main point was: the first one, good or bad,
Good.
memorable.
Yes.
The
Also
second
memorable.
two could be forgettable. Like my wife today was like, I don't remember Andrew Garfield being a Spider-Man. It's like you just forgot like 7 years of lore, and she's not the only one. That's what's crazy about it. It really isn't the only one about it.
Yeah. You know what? This
And
is
he
where it
did a
gets
great
weird.
job, but that's again to the writing and directing of the time and his villains.
Yeah.
God damn, he had some. I love Jamie Foxx, but Electro was he
It was
needed
a
better writing.
travesty. It was a
He needed better
travesty.
writing, and the Croc was all right. It just wasn't a good introduction. We need some heavy hitters. We need
You
something
mean
more.
the lizard, not the croc.
Fuck.
He
Does
does
he
look.
even know what he is? He wanted to be some sort of was it a reptile of some sort?
Yeah. So it was a lizard. He's called the lizard. It was
Is that?
Doc.
I thought he had a scientist name
Connors.
first.
Well, Dr. Connors. Kirk
Oh.
Connors. Kirk Connors. I believe. Yeah, Kirk Connors.
I
And
just remember as him as the Foot from the Replacements. So I was like, every time I see him, I was like, you need to get back on the field with Keanu Reeves and kick that ball, you soccer bloke. Great movie, by the way. I know it's a little off. Garfield should stick to lasagna. Hey, you walkie talkie, you don't be saying funny stuff on our podcast now. Message that to me and I take credit. That's Hollywood style. I can't. And I'll make you a moderator. See, that's how we do it. That's how they do I've done it. I'm podcasting. We're twitching now. We're twitching now.
Such a weird
Oh man.
conversation. No, I'm enjoying myself. This is
So yeah, I guess memorable. Sticked most to the storyline, and even though Tom Holland's does, I think it has a benefit of an established franchise. Any free moment, they're like cameo time. Hey, they'll just bring in anyone they want now, and it just works. And I think that's something.
he's watching for my channel. That's why he's going to your channel.
Hey, yeah, he's got 300% more followers than me. I think right now.
Well, hey.
I don't. If you check the math, I think that's accurate.
Well, maybe Vengeance CNS will pop back on. Say what's up. Hey.
Even said, you gotta check out that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go on
Dino.
DMP Network.
Dino felt very good about himself, and I felt very bad, but it was accurate. It was more realism. It was just confirming what my mama told me. That's all.
Was not. It was a
We
very,
had a worker on our first test, a commenter on our first worker. Look, Amari, that's awful. I apologize. I shouldn't say that. We had a commenter on our first stream, and they shot their shot at Dino, and it was really cool.
Yeah, is Dino taking? I'm like, wow, huh.
And they just hurtled over me because literally I'm closer to the comment section. You see my face first. They hurtled me. They're like, "Hey, Dino."
Listen. There was that makes me so uncomfortable. We're like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, huh?
It's because you have a brick wall and I have drywall. They already knew that. They're like, that's masonry and that's poor. So we're going to go and just jump over that guy. It was just a good eye. I have to respect him more than anything. I guess, and here's the thing that maybe, oh, my dog's whining. I love my dogs. The thing that I love the most, maybe I'm falling victim to the only thing I'm criticizing because I like it because it's my nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm making this whole thing
Yeah.
about nostalgia and thing. Then you come to this epiphany, as I don't know, every critic does, because I'm just considering myself one now too. But I was like, after saying all this, I looked back and I was like, I'm literally being what I am, just validating it on a different end.
Yeah. Well, you have a
But
different point of origin,
yeah,
right? My origin was
it's
the comic. Your origin was that.
so my nostalgia is
Yeah.
that. So it comes down to, does nostalgia make a good movie or does it make it enjoyable? Because it makes it enjoyable, but technically, is it good? We all
So,
want. Is it the
yeah.
Oliver Stone quote that he put out not too long ago that hero movies aren't real movies
No, it was
in the grand scheme of things? Was it
no,
Oliver
it
Stone?
might have been Oliver Stone as well, but it was
It was
who
the
directs all the Leonardo DiCaprio.
Scorsese.
Scorsese said it. Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
real
I
movies.
apologize. It was Scorsese.
So
Oh,
yeah.
that. Sure. They all just look like different stages of Quentin Tarantino. I know that looks ridiculous, but
This
uh,
is the weird part is that it shows up different, right? Like the problem is that they made the Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, the first ones. They made them specifically to be embraced by the masses versus only fans of the comic book, right? That was on purpose to get the word out. And in the end, they did make a good movie. And someone for yourself who was never read the comic books themselves or was never avid about reading them, for you it was just a great movie, and that's where your fandom of Spider-Man started. Whereas for mine, I walked in and I'm like, well, this is all wrong, none of this makes any sense, but I still watched it because I'm a fan of the comic book. I still watched all of them in the theater multiple times.
I guess that's why I put my rating for the newest movie as a Christmas Story out of 10. Because if you look back on the Christmas Story, I don't. I'm sorry, I just don't know if it. I don't assume it's great in Canadian culture, but here, the Christmas Story would be played 24 hours a day on certain
Yeah,
networks.
same.
It was just as okay, cool. I didn't want to assume. And like, I just didn't want to be weirded out on your own. Like, I was like, oh, well, fuck you. Our Maple Story fucking may kick ass. You haven't seen that shit yet.
Oh no,
But
no,
no.
you don't want to see Canadian content. Some of it's horrible. You're like, that's a cheap camera and everything. You're watching it like it's public access. It's not, because there's like, we don't get all the shows you guys get, specifically because there has to be, on every Canadian network, there has to be a certain percentage of Canadian content made in Canada with Canadians, the whole thing. But it's still expensive, right? So that's why it's like Hollywood movies will come up here and include Canadian extras, Canadian talent, Canadian props guys, and all that kind of stuff, because that's how they circumvent the law, right?
Well,
Just
see, this is where I get into my broader fact. So I'm glad it's okay, it's cool up there, because when you look back the Christmas Story, what do you like about it? The nostalgia part, and then the marketing of it,
sure.
the little the corporations. Every year you think the fucking everyone wants you to watch that movie. It's a marketing dream, which goes into why I think you're supposed to like the Christmas Story and you're supposed to like Forrest Gump. Now, this is
Yeah.
where it gets a lot of people attacking me. Forrest Gump, you're supposed to like that as a. I don't think it's necessarily a good movie.
No.
I think it's a clip show of American history,
This was your
sponsored by
life.
Dr. Pepper. Right?
It's so mean.
You're supposed to like it.
Well,
You're
no. I don't
supposed.
think it's just that you're supposed to like it, but if you like it, you're a good person. That's the connection you make, right?
Right.
If I like this, that means I'm a good person because it's a great story and everything's happy and his life worked out. Yeah. Doesn't.
I I think honestly, the people just started making movies that really that was the time they're like, man, CCR just goes good for nostalgia movies. Let's just play them on everything. Anything from the set. CCR has to be. Have you ever seen The Rain? Or dude, they are running in royalty checks till this day. Well, let me throw this up there. what was it? A good story makes a good movie. I love the TNT cartoons, but not even all the nostalgia in the world can save Megan Fox in the TMT movie. I knew it was going to be. This hurts me. This does hurt me in more ways. I was a huge fan, and actually, I'll tell this as an exclusive. I'm a huge fan of Turtles.
Yes.
My first birthday, fifth birthday, I was at Pizza Hut. They used to have Raphael dress up. I
Yeah.
actually later became that guy at my grocery store. So I later got to dress up as Raphael, shining a moment in my life. I've actually been in a lot more costumes than you can think. Costumes are big guy friendly. We actually fill out. We look more turtly than some, so it works out. But
That's
Raphael
accurate.
was
I can't say it's not.
Raphael was there, and I bullied the kids. I elbowed. I showed them the thing I colored for him, and I did the Chris Farley bit. But not ironically, I just hey, you remember that time you did ha to Shredder, and that other time you're like shut up, like I was just asking him about all the movies and all the times he kicked ass. And the guy's just like, yeah. He just shook his head, yeah, and kept giving me high fives. Like, yeah, yeah. It didn't eat no pizza. Stayed the whole 2 hours, just enamored, crying because they had to yank me away from him. I
Yeah.
was like, no, take me to the sewers with you. Take me to the sewers. I don't want to go back home. I'm a turtle now. So I love it. So when Michael Bay said, oh, I think I really did good by giving him noses, I've taken offense to this man to this day. Michael Bay, dude, you've ruined it. You've
He's ruined everything.
I have an old joke. Here's the joke. It was I used to tell when this movie was coming out. It's like I heard some knowledge was going up. There's was up on the internets because I was on the internets. I researched. There's a new movie. It's going to be produced by Michael Bay and directed by Zack Snyder. It's called "Butt Fucking Your Childhood." It's gonna reviews will be mixed, but it's gonna make $1 billion worldwide.
At
So
least.
like at least, and that's
Sponsored
sponsored
by
by Bud
China.
Light. Yeah, so it's like China and Bud
Yeah.
Light,
Yeah.
and that's
Phoenix Films and Bud Light bring you explosions in history. That's
it's like the fucking member berries from South Park are directing some movies. Hey, remember Casey Jones? Yeah, and then you get it. It's like this is our Casey Jones. It's like no, no,
it's
give
not.
me, dude. We didn't
No.
know how good we had it with the first trilogy of the Turtles. Even the fucking one when they went back in time, that's trash. I'll take that over the fucking Rhino in Spider-Man 2. What is that? Oh, oh my
Listen,
god!
listen.
Right now, that Andrew Garfield is still doing a speech to that kid at the end of the movie. Still to this day, if you listen closely, you
You
can
can
hear
still
Ed.
hear him.
You can still hear him.
Someone sent me a picture and asked, "Is this the costume that you had?"
No, no, no. That's what they look like now. I think they look basically like fucking clamp track from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Someone
Now, so a lot of them have went where they're just teeth, and a lot of shit have melted away because
Yeah.
they're all Jim Henson Muppets and
Yeah.
animatronics.
Which is freaky. Someone also
Yeah.
sent me this little tidbit of information here was Scarlett Johansson wanted to go topless in the thriller movie The Island, but director Michael Bay would not allow her. So Michael Bay is
Well,
obviously a horrible human being. There's
well,
no
I
question.
did research on that, and turns out Scarlett Johansson was way too old for Michael Bay for him to do that. Uh, so,
Yeah, it seems accurate.
and if you're laughing at that joke, good. And if you're a little shooken up by it, good.
Yeah,
Like that's
taking
just
taking down
accurate.
those perverts. No, let's
Well, you don't
listen.
want to hear how Megan Fox got into Transformers and stuff. That's just it's
How
just
she got
weird.
out of
That's just
Transformers too. That was
yeah. We
yeah,
can't call a spade a spade.
amen.
Sometimes. Well, this is before hashtag Me Too. Before you're just you said something that would outlaw you. But yeah, basically, Michael Bay found her at like 15 modeling something. I was like, you'd be great in a movie playing 18. And that one of the new Transformers, Marky Mark's daughter 17 getting just, it's all weird. I'm a father and I'm like, this feels weird.
Yes.
Like at any point, it should feel like Marky Mark brought his daughter and his boyfriend's like, hey, I know there's a lot of shit going on around, but let's settle this. This is my world, and this is what I'm in for. Like, we'll get to, yeah, the fucking boat turning into a whatever evil guy here in a second. It's a toy and a whatever. It's two toys in one. I get it. But don't act is you are a Transformers fan, my sir.
You know what? Just hold on for a second. Just
He just
keep the attention of everyone for 1 second.
oh man! Before he does, I'm going to just rail Transformers some more. It's basically just a toy commercial for like 8 seasons. Yeah, I heard him audibly. Audibly, I heard him. It's a toy franchise. My son gets them just because he's like, they're like two toys. They're a robot and a car. But none of them are good. It's not a good moving robot or a good car. It's like you get the robot from Rocky Four and it turns into a Prius. What's that? That's Transformers. It's like you got a Roomba and oh, get the oh, it's real. It's real. Oh my god. Hey, I know what that says. I speak that. It says, I didn't get laid till I was 23. This, that was, no, I'm joking. He knows I'm joking. Nerds, this whole play thing, like nerds didn't get laid, that ended when I was in high school. Nerds were rocking it. There was no, like, nerds, that's just an old joke from the 80s. Like,
Listen, I got that well after I was married. I'll say that right now. Actually, no, we were together, not married. And I was like, yeah, I'm buying that. I saw it. She looked at me and she goes, "You're buying that, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." She was like,
I said Transformers, you missed it, but some guy commented. Transformers is basically the robot from Rocky, and it transforms into a Prius. It's like just like that's what they are. They're two awful toys. It's like a robot and a car, but neither of them are good. It's just like your Roomba turns into a Prius. But
"Yeah,
but
this is
dude,
where."
I actually my son loves them. Plays the video games. If you play the video games, it gets dark. I think the last video game they had, they all died. Like literally, that was the ending. Hey, we
Well,
all got sucked in the black hole. We're dead.
have you watched the new He-Man, He-Man Revelations?
I have not. I have not.
So there was a lot of hate about it. There was a little ASMR for everybody, just in case. There was a lot of hate that was
He has the power.
pretty much, yeah. Uh, so it was actually pretty fantastic because they kind of gave a lot of backstory of a lot of other things that were happening and really built people up. What is this? I want a Rocky and Polly Transformer turned into a bottle of Jack.
That's just good.
That's Revelations was amazing. Yeah, I know. It was like they gave a lot of backstory on like other characters and explain stuff, and you're like, yeah. So a lot of people were pissed because He-Man wasn't really the star, but He-Man was the star because obviously He-Man universe Revelations. They're explaining shit. I've been loving it, but
Well, see, I think that I'll throw in. I haven't been watching, but the one thing I did watch is it's now canceled already. So it's Cowboy Bebop. I watched the new live action, which I thought was really good, but after talking to anime fans, they hate it. And then I
why?
realized, well, this is the conclusion. They made Cowboy Bebop for uh, people that don't like anime. Like I'm not a
Oh,
big
that's useless.
yeah. So they used the source material and changed it so much with the characters that they made it so much homogenized that it offended some other people, but turned into a good, like a niche show. Because if you like film noir and
Yeah.
in space, not a bad show with great characters, and they all do a really good job. It's just another one of those Andrew Garfield situations. Sometimes the writing fails them, but they do the best they can with the situation. And I wish
Yeah.
it went on for another season. I think it was one of those. If Netflix just gave one more season, it could have really done some good stuff. But it turned into a Death Note, where another Americanized version that just hates the anime, the Spike Lee old boy with
Yeah.
Thanos himself,
Yeah,
just
which
ruining
was
classics.
and like that movie is messed up, and you're like, yeah, no, how about this? Don't redo it. Teach
Uh-huh.
people how to read and go watch it in subtitles like everybody else. Suck it, okay? Because it just doesn't. This is the problem that I see, Tim, and this is one thing that just drives me crazy. Is like, listen, at least with He-Man Revelations, they're giving you stories you don't have in the past. They've alluded to, but they're still respecting the source material. Okay. Versus you have something like Cowboy Bebop, which is only famous because of the anime, and then don't respect the source material. That's ridiculous. So why not make a movie, call it something else, and use it and to tell your story? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not being creative by abusing source material and saying, well, we're revamping. Why are you doing that? Just do something new.
We're kind of ignoring it in the room. I guess we're corporations. They're
Yeah.
companies. They're production companies. We've all heard. Walkie Talkie said it best in the comments below when he was bringing up the Fantastic Four. Reason Fantastic Four sucks because they can't stop
Oh,
making it not suck. They want to go
well,
in. The
that's the
guy
thing
who
is we
directed the
have,
last one
yeah,
directed Chronicle. He has the ability to do a
Chronicle was great.
good.
Yeah.
Chronicle's amazing. He has the ability.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but everyone wants to step in and turn it into X-Men 3 The Last Stand because we all know that was great. We all know that one. That was the
Oh,
best.
the Juggernaut. You're like, that's not the Juggernaut, number one. It's not. And
That's Vinnie
Deadpool.
Jones.
Yeah, it was Vinnie Jones. It was Vinnie Jones on like Saturday night around 3 a.m. That's what he looks like. Exactly the same. Okay. So
That was about bad as Paul Giamatti as the Rhino.
I don't even remember that. You know that? I don't remember that.
He was
That
supposed to be a bigger spot, and it's a whole deal. But the second one was supposed to be setting up for the Sinister Eight or whatever.
Sinister Six. Yeah.
Yeah, Sinister Six. I apologize.
That's okay.
Uh,
I'm the nerd.
he's so like, God damn this month.
A little
They're
bit.
making movies for
A little
him.
bit.
There's like 80 million of them. Read. There's yeah, it's true. Kevin Smith is
Yeah.
involved with the Revelations, and they're going to chat 24/7. Kevin Smith's notorious for that. He's basically the nerd Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, 100%. And
Nerd
you know
Quentin
what? The
Tarantino.
guy has talent. There's no question, right? He's a very talented guy, and he
He
does
proved it in
what.
Red State.
Yeah,
If
Ryan
you haven't
Reynolds
seen
was
Red
great.
State,
Oh, Red State. Oh, I loved Red State. That was so good, especially having read the Bible and been religious a long time ago. I was like, oh, this is so good. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds was great. Listen, Deadpool is one of the first real movies that I have found respected the source material, gave me more, and I loved every fucking second of it.
and Red State was one of the last movies with John Goodman. R.I.P. What? You didn't know, Dino?
John Goodman's
You guys
alive,
didn't
man.
know? No. Have you seen him last time?
He looks like death. There's a very good chance it's a Weekend at
I'm
Bernie
pretty sure
situation.
they're propping him up during Red State. He was on strings like the birds.
Don't do that, sir. What are you doing? I don't know.
Kevin Smith's string was the Kevin Smith's yelling. It's like, John Goodman's string team is all off again. We can't get him in shot.
They all have like sprained arms and back injuries. Like, oh, so much work.
Well, I'm just saying that's not what his Wikipedia says.
Oh yeah, Wikipedia says he's dead. Well,
Maybe I
you
don't know.
heard it here first, people.
They may
Idiots
have
say what?
they may have changed it back by now. But when they're good on that stuff, they're accurate.
Yeah,
So
that's why you got to get a screenshot of that. You can't leave that to chance that it'll stay up there. Wiki said he's dead.
all you need to do is say you needed one, and I shall find one.
That's fantastic.
Oh man.
This is the thing is I love an original story. I do. But 9 times out of 10, you won't get an original story because it's a chance. You're taking a chance on something, right? It's the same reason why movies like Alien and Predator have become cult classics because, yeah, they didn't have the budget. But the fact is, doing gore and stuff like that is way cheaper to do. And there's a lot more people that can do it. And there are certain people who can do it spectacularly, right?
Well, see, what's crazy about this is we actually.
There you go. Douche, I had to check if Goodman died.
Well, what did it say? And if you respond, he's on the Connors now, it's just the same as death. Don't give me that ABC bullshit. Are you watching it right now? No, you're watching us. Come on. He's dead. At least on the inside.
Definitely on the inside. Definitely on the inside. That's fair.
Now, what was that movie? King Henry he was in or something? I don't know. King Ralph. Not King Ralph.
King Henry was an actual guy. King Ralph, though. That's it. That was funny.
Man. I gave it too much credit. For me. Oh. No, I forgot. He had to Google it. That got me. It's like, really? He did look awful. We're going to start it. That's what we're starting. We're starting our own little effect around here. Oh!
And that's how you clap back, people.
Oh. Oh. Well, no. She's on numerous sites. Usually you have to get premium to watch her first. But so... You just know Walkie Talkie's paying a little $4.99 extra. Me and my family appreciate it. That's going to go to my grandchild for Christmas. We appreciate it. We don't tell them that Grandma, why does Grandma work from 12 to 5 a.m. over the internet? That's called customer support. She's supporting a lot of men through their lonely times.
That's not nice.
What? It's not nice.
That's not nice to say.
That's what they told me. Like, what am I supposed to say? That's the PC one in the memo, Dino. Like, I can't stretch it up anymore. If you want me to,
so bad. Oh God.
Oh, tell mom to give my fucking page a like. Jesus Christ, take my calls.
Hey. He's not a genie, okay?
He's not a bridge builder. He can't just mend everything, Tim. He's got to watch it. He can only give you so much support.
Damn.
He's probably one of the guys that was on the string team for John Goodman. Was like at Red State.
Like, I was there. I've seen things. Hold on.
He's like, do you need some help, Tim, with yours?
Goodman's looking. Is he wearing skinny jeans? It looks like he's wearing skinny jeans. Like fat guy jeans with skinny jeans.
That looks like Photoshop. That looks like the most unreal photo ever. Like, it just looks like you put John Goodman's face on a substitute teacher's body.
Well, listen, the hair is obviously dyed, number one. Number two, the skinny jeans are a stretch. You know, pun intended.
But why does he look like he's floating on the Tubi red carpet? Which, first of all, Tubi can't afford a red carpet. That shit's free. Like, no one's paying subscription to Tubi. Like, how'd they afford that?
It's like, but I'm on it. You should be too.
He is walking in front of like a building and a green screen behind him, and they're superposing all that shit. That's in my. But no, he does. I guess he does.
Well,
I guess he's lost some weight, but that just. Who wears it better? Who wears diabetes better?
There's a lot of skin on that, man.
Oh yeah, he's just gonna have to deal with it. Like, you couldn't even think about it. Like, he waves and his body stops waving like 5 minutes later. It's like you can just hear the flat.
Like, he's looking better, but at the same time, you're like, he's not a small guy, anyways, right? So, but goddamn,
we're looking up his weight. 200 pounds, apparently respectable. Respectable, 200 pounds.
He 100%.
No, that's what walkie-talkie just said.
He doesn't, but he doesn't. Listen, okay. 200
He's
pounds.
wearing acid wash
He's
jeans.
100%
He's.
not 200 pounds. I'm telling you that right now.
I know. I
Listen,
don't know.
let's hold on. I gotta Google
He he
how
he
tall
might
that
be
man.
200 pounds now because he got rid of all that dead weight of Roseanne. Oh,
Hey!
damn! Oh, dust that joke off. It's an antique. You put. You could probably get that joke alone could get its own sitcom on ABC. Oh, he's out for blood. He's out for blood.
John Goodman is about my height. He's a little shorter than I am.
So he's probably 220 then.
No, he's definitely sitting around 270. Because remember, like,
Even at the skinny, at like even with the.
I'll tell you why. Just amount of skin. The amount of skin versus the amount of skin is going to be an extra 30 pounds. Okay.
Oh man.
And on top of that, like, look, he ain't fucking thin, guy. Okay. Like, this is not like, is he thinner? Oh yeah. Is he at a healthier weight? Sure. Is he thin? The fuck no.
You got to understand, not dead 65 John Goodman is my ideal body weight. I'm like, that guy looks good. That's trim. Like,
Mine too, man. What do you think? I look at him. I'm like, listen, number one, I'm taller than him. Pretty sure I would thin out. It's no problem. Like,
oh man. I guess to come back around, if you're a good comic book person, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love the new Spider-Man movie, anyways. But what we more broadened topic that we came across nostalgia in media and everything. Is it good or bad? Does it validate
yeah,
everything?
which is a
It
valid question.
does. Goodman's. That's what it is. It's the Goodman. Walkie Talkie said Goodman reminds me of the Stephen King book / movie Thinner. You don't want to
100%.
eat the cherry pie if you get invited to his house.
He killed the gypsy. He killed the gypsy, and now he's thin and beautiful.
Have you ever read that book?
No, I can't read.
Well, now I feel bad. Like, now the people are going to believe me. You're the legitimate, credible one. If you say you can't read, they're definitely, why is he even here?
I've only seen the movie. I haven't read. I don't think I've read any Stephen King books.
Stephen King's a pretentious fuck in his books. He can't end it. Here's my perfect example of Stephen King. I was reading The Stand, and he spent about 15 to 20 pages on Randall Flagg. Randall Flagg didn't main villain in The Stand. It's the first time you see him. I was super pumped in the book when I first fucking right, because I've only been used to the shitty made for TV movie, which ain't bad. Still not the new one.
And
Gary
it was what's
Sinise
his face
one.
from True Blood, the tall thin guy.
Yeah, very true.
I saw it.
Fuck, where was I at?
So he uses 20 pages to describe this guy.
Yeah, Randall Flagg. He takes 20 pages to. But Randall Flagg doesn't say anything. He describes what's in his pockets, how other people interact when he's in the fucking thing, and all this shit. And it's the most boring, drawn out bullshit that I could think of, and I hated it. And it made me ruin the book for me. I stopped it right there, and he could do that. Can't end it.
Yeah.
He loves the open ending book. And he loves just giving character development to the nauseum. Me, for horror, I like Dean Koontz. We get in, get out, have a good time.
Koontz and King, baby.
That's it. I'm pretty sure we ate the forbidden pie, especially the last call, last resort before the club closes. Kind of, get on that one.
Listen, I feel personally attacked, but that's.
Well, in the movie, they made it pretty obvious that the wife was cheating. In the book, it was very subliminal. It was in his head. In the book, he's not. In the movie, you could see like he's kind of like. In the book, he's a douchebag.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing they get across a little bit better. They also don't get across that Joe Montana, a fucking treasure in movies, lives in the movies, does not in the book. Gets murdered profusely, and that's when the guy doesn't give a shit. He's just like, cool, I'm good, and moves on. It's a whole book about he was gluttonous not because of the food, because of his selfishness.
Yeah,
And even though he lost all the weight, he still didn't cure what was
inside
harming
of
him on the inside.
yeah.
It's a shitty book. It's I guess Stephen King's not for me. I like him more in short story format, but I
Yeah,
think that's just more.
I find he gives me the vibes of George Lucas, where he was very fortunate to have some very creatively inspired stories. But the fact is, he's not the best at what he does, right? People are like, oh, Stephen King's the king of horror. You're like, no, he's got great original ideas. That's what he is. But the fact is, I've seen the movies and stuff, and I thought they were great. He's like, I hated it. It didn't reflect like with the Mist movie. Loved it. And people are like, oh, it's totally different than the book. I'm like, well, then the book is a different story because I thought that was a great book or a
The
great movie.
book's a
I thought it was,
little
I'm,
bit different. They're fucking bullshitting it a little bit on that one. The only thing they
I just
changed.
don't give a shit because I'm like, the movie was great.
Well,
So
Frank Tannenbaum, which is amazing guy. We're just getting fucking nerdy here. Frank Tannenbaum is an amazing guy who's directed The Mist. If you see The Mist, you realize a lot of those people were in The Walking Dead. Tannenbaum did the first two and best seasons of The Walking Dead. You might say The Walking Dead got a little slow. Yeah, Frank Tannenbaum said that too, and that's why he got fired. He didn't
yeah,
want to do the show the way they wanted to do it. But before in The Mist, he actually asked Stephen King if he could do the ending they did now. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's a legend. We all know the ending. We're all horror movie fans. If you're a horror movie fan, you know the ending. If not, you probably did because you've seen it anyways.
yeah,
Uh, it's fucking grim as shit.
yeah. Love
In
it.
in the book, it's standard Stephen King bullshit where it leaves it open ended. Keep
Oh,
driving.
yeah. No thanks. I thought, yeah,
You,
no, watching. I loved the movie. I thought it was great. I was
yeah, but it
disappointed
was
that they
amazing.
actually started doing a show about it. I'm like, no, I've already seen the movie. Why would I do this? This is
The
just
show drawn out the present so much that was awful, and they didn't focus on the monsters. They
yeah,
focused on the dynamics of the people inside.
yeah.
And
Fuck off. Nah, I don't need that.
if I've seen too much Walking Dead, we know how much it can ruin it. I'm tired of the gimmicky. It's work, but you can't do it on a TV series have followed a movie formula, but the problem is movie even franchises get rebooted or
Yep.
stuff like that, as we said. So you can't keep making us fall in love with the same character just to kill them off
Yeah,
over
that's
and over again. We
and that's
get stale to it.
yeah. Well, and that's okay. So was Stephen King the Stand comic book any good? I don't know. Did you
I
read
don't
it?
know about the comic book. I read the book, and the book was really good because it developed a lot of the characters to go in there. But I
Yeah,
will throw a theory to you, which I heard was confirmed in the books a little bit more. Was now if you're familiar with the story of the stand, there's a guy called I believe in the book he was Trash Kid. He was the guy who was something was wrong mentally. He just said a few words. I do this for you. I do this for you. And he goes around and he actually helps blow up the oil refinery in the beginning. He's
yeah,
played by an actor who was in a sitcom in the 80s, I believe Murphy Brown. I believe he was on the Murphy Brown sitcom earlier. If not that, he was in a lot of 80s stuff. I remember him a lot
yeah, yeah,
growing up.
yeah.
He was also in
Okay.
Desperation, Stephen King's Desperation. He was in that one as well as a movie. He's a great actor. The whole time he's blowing that stuff up, he's traveling to Las Vegas with the atomic bomb, the
Yeah,
bomb Randall Flagg wants to take. There is rumors that the whole time he was talking, he was never in control with Randall Flagg. He was talking to God
yeah,
and the higher power, and that he was doing all this for him, which I thought was a lighting thing. Maybe it was blatant for everyone else, but I thought it was subtle that when because at the very end, when the hands of God come to die to start the bomb in
yeah,
Las Vegas, he says the same words he's been saying all the time to the hand. So it comes almost to confirm the narrative that he was
yeah.
like the secret agent on secret agents above all of them, the one he
Hmm.
couldn't see more than anyone, just like Moon Man, but on like a higher uh, story C-section. What did you when you watched it? Did you get that pretty obvious? Was it obvious? Was I young and it was just profound, or have you ever seen it?
Well, I saw the new one, the new thing of the Stand.
Does it? Did it have the same theory? Basically, was it a guy? It shows up at the end. Shows up with. This is not a. It's a book and two miniseries. At this point, spoiler talk's gonna happen. But at the end,
Okay.
in the old ones, it shows like our heroes and Randall Flagg all meet in Las Vegas. And
Yes.
Randall Flagg's got two of the main characters. He's already killed one. One of the main characters couldn't make it there. He was going to be the fallen astray. I believe that was Stan or the main character.
Stu. Stu Redman.
Stu. Stu. Stu couldn't make it, but the other three did. They killed the oldest guy. And then the last two, they were going to do a live execution.
Yeah.
That's when the guy has something mentally, I want to say mentally handicapped,
Yeah.
but
Tom Cullen. It was Tom
he
Cullen.
shows up with the bomb. The bomb goes off, but he says that I do it for you to the hands of God. Was that like how it happened in the
No.
thing? Because
No.
what's happening is the two people, which is one is a musician, the other guy's the fat guy trucker that's been driving them all around in the original CBS one, in the '90s. He's they got him all strapped up. They're getting ready to eviscerate him, like just straight live, like pull all their entrails in front of the people in Las Vegas. They're all pumped.
Yeah.
And that's when he shows up with the thing, and they're like, yeah, this is going to be the big fight. We're going to get back at Boulder. This is
Yeah.
what we're going to use. And then that's when literally they keep praying, and so much the hands of God come
Ignite.
down and ignite it.
I
Or holy hands, the hands of good. I don't want to get too subject. I think it's Mother Abigail's maybe hands that they
yeah.
were using, but she's the reference for a stand-in for that. But
So
yeah,
in similar fashion to what we've been all talking about this whole time, they changed that a little bit to give different aspects of how it works. So there was the one guy that brought it, was the guy who made bombs. And it was
that's he made bomb. Oh, hold on.
it's well he was like a he would like he was what's the word for it?
Pyromaniac.
That's the word.
He was in the original too. I forgot that part.
Yeah, and
But
he
there
was
was
the one who
another
brought
guy.
it. But yeah, so okay, yeah, you know what? Then so kind of, but they didn't use the proverbial hands of God. But like it was, I found that story was it was a cool story, and then you're like, oh, this is a little bit weird. With like, oh, it was actually it was to see if men could be trusted again with the choice of free will versus being a good person or not being a good person, and
You
you're
got
kind
to
of going,
watch the original. The
yeah,
original knows
good,
what it is, and it's campy. It's
yeah,
campy into. It's like fuck, dude. It's not. I hate to say it's prime Stephen King miniseries.
yeah, but
Like it's better than it, but it's not the Langoliers. It's it's
yeah,
it's not the heavy Langoliers or Storm of the Century. Those dull pieces of crap. But it's a decent movie. I like it all the way through. The thing it works well is because the characters. Gary Sinise, Lieutenant Dan, main character. His love choice, Molly Ringwald. Get the fuck out of here. Take my money. Uh, yes, the guy who is deaf and can't talk that has the biggest character art in the whole series, Rob fucking Lowe. Back when he was peak Rob Lowe, we got Moon Man. Moon Man is the tall guy from Coach. Hey, I'm Coach. The guy, that's him. Great fucking character actor from Coach. He plays MMON. That's how you spell anything in the movie because all he's, you know, and it goes into a great over the top area. And a shout out to, he recently passed away. He was the lead actor in Stephen King's Night Flyer, but you've probably seen him in everything. He's a bald guy, kind of got, he's an everyman. When you see him, you're like, ah, yeah, I remember him. He's one of those guys. He passed away recently, but he plays Randall Flagg's second in command.
okay,
Best about this is how fucking crazy my mom was. This is one of her teaching points. Was this man? This man for standing up for his brother did a lot of stuff and was in jail and he got left there to rot. The only person that came to help him was Randall Flagg.
right,
So he had to choose to eat rats and die or do Randall Flagg and do that.
Yes.
And even though he was flawed, he ran away from his punishment and who he was to the point where it ultimately came back to him. And that was my idea on his character arc because he wasn't bad. I guess his redemption was sought at the end when he saw at the very end what Randall Flagg was doing, the evil guy.
Yeah.
He realized the decision he's made and was, I guess, acceptance and regretfulness. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Maybe. And
Well,
it was a good complexity to the character, showing how simply flawed men can turn so evil without even being considerably evil themselves.
just
That
the
makes sense.
right set of circumstances can create a massive amount of evil. That's
Right, and
what it,
we've all know people like that. It's the bully has henchmen. It's the henchman
yeah.
bullies.
Well, and the idea that I liked about it was that Randall Flagg created an environment that embraced evil and abuse and gluttony and selfishness, and because he produced the opportunity, it was snatched up immediately by people, right? But at the same time, you have Miss Abigail, who created a wholesome, nurturing environment for people to be true to themselves, and in turn, that was spoiled by someone who was selfish,
And
narcissistic,
it
and like it's interesting for that
It very
specific
much
fact, right?
is. And I like how you showed I hope he says we guys are the best or he just gave us a grade level. You guys are the
Probably.
B. And that's a good grade.
That's a good grade, man.
I got a GED. That's probably the best grade I've had in
We got
years.
2 viewers, and last time we had 3. I
I'm
welcome you
down.
all, and hey, keep commenting, let us know, and be part of the conversation because we like talking about this shit, and yeah, we're losers that way. But
Well, what I liked about this was the most about the old one is like what you put on. They made it blatantly obvious. You got your good people are going to go to Boulder, Colorado. Your bad people are going to go to Las Vegas or wherever.
they didn't.
But
That's the cool part.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like with this henchman I was talking about, he had to pick death.
Right. Or
The good people aren't going to save him. He's not good. He hasn't seeked redemption yet in the storyline and all that. He is still technically has to pay for what he did
yes.
and what he's done. And it's that acceptance of knowing you're in that situation that in this narrative that death is not the worst thing that can happen. Yeah, if that makes sense.
I was gonna say B minus, but best will too. Okay, so this is the
He's
thing.
going to give us the best buy rating. That'd be nice.
B minus, that's fine.
I like it.
Not everyone is 5 stars right out the gate, Tim. No one.
I know exactly what
I
we
do a
are.
whole bit on this where I'm like, people can't keep on asking for 5 stars. I'm sorry, you're not 5 stars. If in fact a good rating is 2.5 stars, right in the middle. You did your job. If you smiled a little bit, maybe you're gonna get 3 stars. Hey, you know what? You gave me some extra hints. That'll be 4. Hey, you gave me a discount too. Boom, now you got a 5. But not everything's a 5. It's just how it works.
You must be like any Uber driver is just stressed out with you in the backseat. Yeah, you got a checklist. Like, oh, you're up, oh, back down. You hit a pothole. That's a negative 2.5. Like the whole flow chart of how you're going to give them the score at the end.
Listen, the reason why I say I would be a good warlord is because I respect a working man, and I will give him 5 stars. You know why? Because he's out there trying to feed his family, and good for him, or her. Right?
Okay, I just
I'm a
want
just, I'm a just and gentle ruler. Okay.
this is a first. You heard it first on Twitch. And Twitch. That's why I'm a great warlord.
I would be a great warlord.
I would be a great
This
warlord.
pandemic has disappointed me to no end. Okay, we're supposed to be going into some sort of quasi lockdown on Sunday. So yeah, I'm like,
We're
listen,
gonna
you know what?
send
If it was a
his
good pandemic,
address.
yeah.
We're
Don't
gonna
come.
send his address below so you can send him furs of native animals so he can wear it on his body, warlord style.
Okay,
Just
okay. Here's a question for you, Tim. A little bit off topic, but not really.
no, I'm
Could
in my
you?
warlord thing. Look at me, I'm so fucking in it right
I
now.
am a
Look, the sun
man.
is literally just on my bald spot. You guys are blind in the chat room.
That's also true.
Oh my
Um,
lord.
I once gave an Uber driver 1 star because he said walkie-talkies aren't as cool as Morse code. Oh well, that's fair. That's only reasonable. I think walkie-talkies are so Morse code is very, very difficult. But the guys who know it, so there was a whole thing during a storm. It was an old guy who would still use Morse code to talk to his buddies, and you saw him spouting off words, and it was like he was going so fast, and then you saw him as an old guy doing it, and it was amazing. But the fact is, yeah, you know what? Not everybody had that skill. So walkie-talkie, over, boom.
Boom. I'm doing this right now. You're gonna get maybe a minute and a half of just Tim off the cuff jokes about Morse code. First of all, I don't trust anything named after the guy that invented it. Pretty vanity filled. Samuel Morse, get off your fucking high horse. You think of anything else to name it? But no, it's what my last name should do. Get a fucking kid. Once you start out with that, why are you naming this? First of all, and the second with your story, it just sounds like Morse code was for the people that just wanted to text before talking. Like
Yeah,
the walkie, they're like, hey, don't get me on the walkie-talkie. Here, beep,
just
beep,
text me.
beep, 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 beep. Is this annoying? Beep, beep, beep. Uncle Harry, fucking stop. Beep, beep, beep. Is that a long one? Did he just stroke out? What the fuck? I didn't get. And imagine that message. You had to go back. Hey, it's Uncle. Well, you have to go back to beep, 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 beep. I didn't get the second beep. It's ruined all other beeps. I'm off count. What is he saying? So fuck you, Samuel Morris. At least Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin and didn't call it the Whitney gin. Have some dignity. That's all I'm saying. So that's why walkie talkies are superior. If you want anyone to want to say some shit, tell them to bring him back to over here. I got you, walkie talkie. Bring him back over here. I tell him what's up.
Hey, what's up, Dad versus Lex?
Yeah, dude. What's up, man? That
Or lady,
Twitter
I'm assuming.
Uh,
I don't know.
well, it might be. That Twitch handle sounds like you like Limp Biscuit. You down with the dad vibes? La di da.
Why not?
Oh man, thank you for letting me do that. I just had as soon as he said uh, Morris code, I was like that motherfucker. Sugar.
Hey, it's
So
fantastic.
I might just use that. That was a good bit. That's some open
That is a
mic
good.
shit.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's
you gotta
better than
try stuff
most.
out like that, though. You gotta try stuff out like that.
You're going to see that later on Dry Bar or something. It's like, damn, it's like a 50-minute about a Morse code, and people, someone's grandma's like, "This guy is so funny," and I'm going to die because it's so hacky. And it's just, I'm saying like, "Hey, what's the
Yeah.
deal?" Jerry Seinfeld redneck bit about Samuel Morris.
So,
I just
just so
thought, I
you know,
think Dino was more surprised I knew it was Samuel Morris, and it
I
was,
was impressed by that because I don't know who it was. I know his name was Morse, but that was it. But
and it is accurate, guys. Just like John Goodman's dead.
are we still back on that?
Just trust me. You gotta trust me. It's Idiot Says What.
He's
We know what
definitely
we're
dead.
saying.
He's definitely
We're
dead.
up to 3 now.
I know because we're very cool. And guys,
Oh
if you guys
man.
want to talk about something else, just let us know. So we
Yeah,
were
just
talking about
let
movies earlier. Now we're talking about weird shit. I'm gonna have a super lemon because I feel like having a candy. Um,
is that super because it's got like
no,
letters involved with it, like
no, it's actually
C,
called
H, and T.
it's actually called super lemon right there. Super lemon.
Oh,
Oh, juicy.
we just got lemon.
Yeah. Well,
See what free healthcare does? They get super fruits over there. Probably got fucking pomegranates just growing. Ain't
uh,
that a motherfucker?
FYI, I do have a bunch of. My wife bought a bunch of treats for you and I to try live on the air.
All right, hell yeah. I'm
So
on. You
those are
had
gonna be
me at
coming.
treats.
And there's more than enough for you to share, but don't be an asshole. So
Wait, like I'm good. My son still won't let me touch the fucking Milky Ways at his thing. He's made his line. I ain't sharing my shit.
yeah.
He's
Well,
he's
I'm saying
12
like it's a
now.
lot of chips and stuff too, right?
Oh, okay.
Drawing a preview of some of them.
Love to.
Um,
What we got here?
mm,
It's there now. All right.
spicy
I have.
peanuts with dried fish. Mm.
I'm down. Now,
Um,
what is all dressed potato chips a thing, or is that just a stereotype?
yeah, no, they're
Oh
good.
yeah,
Yeah, man. So
they're
I'm
only
not a
sold
fan.
one place here.
Are they really?
Yeah, just one place.
Are they
It,
Lay's or
no, Lay's don't sell them here. We have to get them Snooks brand.
these are pudding flavored marshmallows? Pudding flavored marshmallows.
All right,
It's some wild stuff, man.
I'm
I got
down.
I got a few different types of chips. One is spicy crayfish flavor, or crawfish, as you guys call them.
Cowfish,
I'm getting me some
Southern
crawfish.
lobster.
Mexican chicken tomato flavor. That should be interesting.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna send them with your Christmas card, so
Hell yeah,
it'll be fun.
hell yeah.
Just to try some stuff, right?
We got some big stuffs coming up, so that's fun. We got that New Year's Eve thing. I got that book in the mail. It was paperback.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was wild.
Books in the mail suck because there's expectations, like you have to read them.
Yeah, you have to read it like as soon as you get it.
Ain't that suck? That sucks. Like you're like, oh, now I got this. Like you've been putting off a shower for 3 days. Now you gotta find somewhere to wedge in a book. You can't bring the book in the shower. It ain't a hard
Only 3 days.
copy.
Eh? Only
It's
3 days.
only. I know it's rookie numbers. I'm averaging about 1.5 a week.
Do you have ketchup chips where you are?
We do, but again, it's very rare to get them in the name brand.
Okay, so I'll do ketchup and all dressed. I'll send them to you. Do you have hickory sticks?
No, what are hickory sticks?
Yeah, you
Uh
see.
oh, he just gave me the eyes like a fucking the guy off Mike
You'll see.
Tyson's Punch Out before he knocks you out. He gave me the eyebrow.
Hello. Ooh, I got a friend who's watching, who's sending me some new chips that I might be able to pick up. Yeah, just so you guys know, we are doing a Idiotsayswhut on December 31st, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, where we won't stop until you talk our shirts off. We're starting at 2, and we are going at least for quite some time. So that's going to be fun if you just tune in, and you'll enjoy what a crazy time we'll have.
You're guaranteed to like. We have over 20 guests booked for this evening and 3 different musical acts confirmed. We're hoping to at least bring that up to 5, but just see what we can do. This, and it's going to be a good time. Hang out with us before you go party, or just when you're having just a good time in the garage with your friends. Put us in the background. We'd love to hang out with you.
And also tomorrow we have sports balls, which is going to be happening, which is awesome. And we're going to be talking about the Hall of Fame for sports balls, which is we're looking for. These are the nominations as to who will get in. We have Michael Rappaport, the Extreme Ironing Lady, Mikey Beal, Brandon, the Garbage Disposal Clark, Big James Mayhem, and Cottage Cheese. Cottage Cheese is a sore spot for Dino, so let's not talk about it.
Right now, cottage cheese and
It's not winning.
garbage disposal.
It's not winning.
How is it not winning? It's definitely in the lead. Everyone's saying garbage disposal, extreme irony, lady, and cottage cheese are their top 3 right now.
So there's also these are hickory sticks.
Are they potatoes?
Yeah, it's potato, but they're very very small chips.
Oh,
they're really good. You probably have them in a different brand, right? But
yeah, they're different. Yeah. Oh, you stop it. Why don't you come up here with me? Everyone likes doggies. Come up here.
Also true.
You're being a dickhead. Oh, God damn it. All right. Why? They can hear you growling.
Yeah.
They can hear. All right.
Tim just got assaulted by his dog. It's great. It's fantastic.
He doesn't like me at all. He's going to. No, thank you. He's got a bone. He's happy.
Well, you didn't give him a bone, so hey, that's how it works.
That's the truth. Yeah. Man, he is the worst with cameras. Like I did a show. They say never work with kids or animals, and I don't know about the kids part because my son can do cues all the time. Loves doing shows. It's more my dog. He doesn't want to. As soon as the camera on, a fussy motherfucker. You turn the camera off. Hey, what's going on? I'll hit every mark. Hey, frustrating dog ever. And it's just one of those. It's like. We're never going to get pedigree to get you on a fucking dog again now. Like, you just ruined it. Maybe Alpo.
Oh, do you really want that, though? They'll pay you an Alpo. It's not good. It's not good for your dog.
That's true. I literally have to pick that shit up off the carpet. I get too much lawn. carpet sausage. It just grows up. You get 2 dogs, and it's every year. It's bountiful harvest.
Oh, cool.
It's ridiculous. Don't look at me like that.
Honestly, there's
Walkie-talkie.
a reason I don't have a dog because I can't. I'm not doing that.
Will you wear a festive tie next week? I'm trying to find my other ties. I have about 4 or 5, but I'm trying. Yeah, trying to spice it up, give you a little bang with the buck. I did wear a tie for 1 week, and no one took me seriously. So that's why I have to do it. Hashtag awful host was trending everywhere for sports balls. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and you know what? I was perturbed by it the whole time, just watching it. FYI, guys, we are scheduled to do sports ball tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Central. So tune
It's been
in.
confirmed the notorious B.O.B. Athlete professional eater will be on the show, and he
Awesome.
will critique us as me and Dino and potentially others will eat 20, so you can eat 20 chicken nuggets the fastest, sauce optional, in this very first ever sports balls food competition.
Yeah.
He will judge us on and then give us critiques on our performance and how to maybe do it better
Yeah.
or just quit immediately.
Well, we got this. So that's the promo for it. Is the notorious Bob Shut It. Bob, I love his intro where he's like Bob, 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 Bob. I'm
He's a
like,
cool dude, man.
he seems really cool.
I'm excited to do that.
Um,
Last week we had we were supposed to have a wrestler
oh
and
yeah.
do it, and he messaged me 2 days later. He's like, "Let's do it." All right. Well, I have to
He messaged
schedule
you
it
2 days
later.
later.
Yeah, he's like something happened with my phone and all that, and I understand because that happened. But like, he kind of gave me the vibe like I should stop everything and like keep going.
See
Yeah,
how
come
they
back tomorrow,
walkie
sports
talkie?
ball. One of the stories is a woman running a marathon shit herself at mile 3 or mile 7. We're going to talk about that. That's what we talk about with sports balls.
Yes. Not about sports. Not about
We could
sports.
actually talk about a topic here that we're not going to talk about sports balls because after research, I'm just not going to fucking do it. There's this thing called goal ball.
Yeah.
Goal ball is actually a respectable sport for blind Olympians, and it's all dedicated to the blind. Now, when you're sitting here watching the sport for the first time and you have no sound on and your wife's sleeping because of work, it just looks like a bunch of people wearing blindfolds playing a bizarre thing of kickball, which is hilarious. And I thought, right up sports ball's alley. And then I realized, no, it's a very delicate sport where blind people uh, play basically like modified soccer with uh, cricket, maybe influences. Basically, instead of kicking the ball, you throw it. You try to throw it into people's net, and you have
It's
defenders.
handball and soccer put into one.
There you go, perfect.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. The rules are really cool, but like, dude, after Gary Becker being the Special Olympics, we're not going there again. Just not happening. So we sports balls is for sports that don't take too serious of each other, or should they? Like
Yes.
dream ironing, hacky sack, stuff like that. This seems like a legitimate sport that deserves someone respectful to talk about it, not this fucking smoke. So, like that's why we were like, but it's actually cool. You can see, uh, again, Dino can't because he doesn't have NordVPN, but everyone here in America watched the Olympic team. I think here recently, last year or this year, play some rounds on YouTube. So that's cool.
Hmm. So somebody sent a picture of ties you should take a look, keep your eye out for if you can buy them. Is this one?
Oh, ooh, bacon tie.
But this one, hey, that says class.
It's only going to be my tie if there's some brown streaks in it too. It was a
We'll
tie for
make them
like silver.
sparkly. We'll make them
Yeah, yeah.
sparkly. We'll bedazzle the tie in such fashion.
Well, I was that'd be even better. Yeah, you know what? Actually, we're going to just random thought since we're on Twitter. Why isn't there more like ridges in my toilet paper? Wouldn't it be good cleaning like Quilter Norman? Get a little bump action, get a little scrub action with the soft things. Like maybe I'm thinking too much of it, but I
The
think
problem is that
couldn't we change the texture of it or the pattern?
the more nooks and crannies will be countered with softness. So you can only have it as soft as possible and have enough creases for you to get a clean wipe, right? So if you make it more rigid or more ridged, you're going to result in less softness.
Hmm. I don't know.
Think about it this
I've
way:
put
those ridges.
the top part of the socks.
Okay,
That could get you a good butt flossing going on. And
absolutely.
when you flip it around and got the furly bits, that's like a deep clean.
Okay, but the problem is that's going to be like that's very soft material, but it is very structurally hard. Versus if you have more ridges on toilet paper, which is inherently supposed to be soft, it will become not soft, and that's why as a sock is very durable, but toilet paper can only get so
Not
over it.
socially acceptable in the house when your wife does the laundry.
Only
Is what
if
you're
you
saying.
try and put it back on your foot, then it's definitely not socially acceptable. Like,
I don't. Usually, I don't get shocked on this show. It takes me a minute. You got me bug eyed. Like, no, you don't do that. I've done it many times. That's how it goes. Never put it back on your foot. You throw it away
yeah,
or
you throw it away.
deep in the hamper or
Look,
something
it needs rust
shameful.
sometimes, but you don't reuse it. Okay, it's just going to.
Lord.
That's why you use both socks. Make sure it's proper clean, and then throw them out. That pair's gone.
This week we have Tim Northern on Idiot Says What. He was on Star Search finalist and Last Comic Standing. So I
Awesome.
don't, that's going to be pretty cool.
Well, so today I recorded Generation Dan, which is going to be out in a few weeks. We did with John Mohill, who was really funny. And you know what? Like we've had a couple comics on there the last few episodes that are going to be coming out in the next couple weeks, and it's just so much easier when it's a good quality comic who knows how to riff back and forth, how to jump in, and how to be respectful of the mic, but at the same time try and get in your speaking points, which is hard, right? Like it's even we have that issue uh going forward, right? Like it's we both have something to say. So it's actually the last few episodes have been really good. I think the one that we just
Uh,
had was Joe Stapleton, who was a guest on there, who's a professional poker commenter,
Oh
whatever.
hell, bring him to sports balls. That'd be kind of cool. Love to talk poker or something of that nature. Is that a legitimate sport? Probably
Yeah,
too
poker.
legitimate for it.
Well,
Well, we said the same thing. That's what
yeah.
Bill asked Bill Queen because apparently Tornado chasing a car isn't a fucking sport. Like he literally just said that in the last episode. So don't tell our new guest though. Let Bill do it. I'm sure Bill will. That's Bill's about. Bill seems cool. We
I've
got
been
big
binge
news this
watching
week.
what?
No,
Oh,
just like everything's been going good with Idiot Says
yeah.
What. We got good guests. Everything's
Things are
going really
happening.
well.
Things are happening, and it's very
It's
enjoyable.
really
That's why,
working
guys,
out.
check it out. You see in the top corner, I have D&T Network, which is a new YouTube channel. We have our previous Twitch episode loaded up there as of today. We also have it on our where do we have it, Tim? On Anchor FM. So if you go to Anchor
Yep.
FM /Idiot Says What, we have the audio loaded for previous Idiot Says What episodes that are also on YouTube on the Eargasm Network. And
We should put in the description with the test. It is literally that. So don't like it gets a little bit to get in. It's actually a very funny episode. Turned out to be really fucking cool. We played card sharks and shit.
yeah,
It's insane. But I would skip at least 10 minutes ahead because we're working out the little kinks with sound and stuff like that. Maybe 5 minutes. But
yeah,
I was listening to it today.
yeah.
Basically, what I'm saying is, I know the analytics. I know you're all my friends and you're totally going to listen to the whole thing, but analytics say you don't. And after 2 minutes of audio sucks, you leave.
Yeah,
So, and
which is fair. Which is fair.
I hope you feel the fucking fake quotations I'm giving you in my voice. So, so that's why I'm telling you skip ahead. Save you some trouble, me some trouble.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is a little compliment. We are a good attribute to your day. Like you put us on like a good movie and you're cooking or something, we can give you a few laughs, give you something to do. And that's
listen.
just not my words. That was someone else's. I didn't even pay him to say that. He just said it. I was very thankful. I was like,
Listen, let's be honest. In this day and age, we're met with so much, harsh reality, and this is a bad thing now, and this is bad, and you can't do this. And you know what? Hey, how about we just have a conversation, have fun, talk about stuff, and we can part ways as friends? Is that so wrong? Is that so much to ask? I
we
mean,
get a
it's the
lot of
same
stuff
idea.
on. Yeah, we
Sorry.
get a lot of stuff on idiot and sports balls. Like, why don't we go longer and have a better, like,
Yeah.
more? It's mostly the format. Once we run out of things to say, what we ain't got. This is where we're going to be doing more of this stuff, and more engaging and stuff like that, and hopefully build a new but awesome audience on this platform as well.
Yeah.
And that's all that my tie's given out. That's all I got. It tapped
Yeah.
out right there with all the intellectual bullshit. Let's go talk about like ridges and toilet paper. Or why isn't there patches in underwear for like we got the little filters for masks? Why don't we have butt filters?
Those are charcoal filters. You can buy them, but they only stick to your underwear.
So there are there are.
Yeah.
Well, touche. Huh.
But like it's just not a usable technology. Like it's gonna like
So
because you
we have
can't really.
fart covering for our underwear, but I don't have an IV for my Dr. Pepper. I
That's
still
right.
have to drink it manually like my fucking forefathers,
Like a peasant. That's right.
like a fucking peasant. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bill Gates, what's up? Help me out here. Steve Jobs is dead. I
Look.
can't. We need someone to make inventions that are completely useless but necessary.
Yes.
We
Yes.
need you to step in.
We need necessary useless items to.
Here's where an edgy alt comic would say, "You mean like the vaccine?" Lord, welcome to the world we live in. Welcome to
Yeah.
Joe Rogan. Here, and
That's
I'll give you ivermectin. Lord.
right. I look like a horse in certain parts. Hey.
Joe Rogan is a horse. He's part muscle and everything. The dude would probably need special.
He's part muscle.
He's part muscle and horse and Quiddy whips from UFC. Like you're getting rocked. Like that's all. Like he's the fifth funniest person on news radio. He is not every people. So if you're like, hey, I should do what Joe Rogan does or what Aaron Rodgers does, you shouldn't because you're my aunt Helen, who's like 275 pounds, who doesn't know. Here, all right, perfect case. If you don't know how fast you run a 40, then you can't compare. Do you mean drink a 40, Tim? No, run a goddamn 40.
That's
God, so
accurate.
many fucking
Listen,
people around here.
well,
Giving me the Joe Rogan thing. Yeah, would you start by exercising and eating healthy for your whole fucking life? The dude's been basically vegan, and you just got done eating ribs of a pig carcass. Like what? There's differences. The guy could kick a little bit.
a little bit.
That's all I'm saying. I've never been the guy. I it'd be like I'm like the quarterback to the Green Bay Packers. Tim, shut the hell up. That's the equivalent. Don't be saying stuff like that. Follow your doctor's advice or follow your own opinion. I don't care, but don't be listening to some fucking quarterback
Fair.
or the guy off see. Right there he's like, so have you ever heard about DMT? He's just like, it's a horse. You've heard about DMT? So I hear, horse, you've been canceled. Tell me how that is. Like Jesus, every comic that's ever got canceled goes on the Joe Rogan tour immediately after.
Of course they do.
Yeah. Hey
That's how
guys,
science
I
works.
got canceled, so I'm going on the most popular media stream in our generation. I wonder how my career's going to go. Fuck off. Jim Brewer's been forgotten for 15 years. He comes on Fox News, makes an incoherent ramble about freedom and Nazis or something. Goes on Joe Rogan, and now he's selling out arenas all across the Midwest.
Correct.
But the people don't realize, like, oh yeah, Jim Brewer don't give a shit. He just wants your money. And right now, the people that are paying tickets to go into big crowded areas tend to hate masks. So if you get a bunch of them together, it might be profitable for your touring career. It's just hate to
So
point out the obvious.
I got a follow-up picture for this. So it started here.
Oh
It went to here.
no.
And now he's like this.
No. That's
It's Joe Rogan with and without makeup.
that was his interview with Maya Yiannopoulos or what the last one. That
Leave the
was a
Greek to
good
me,
joke.
buddy. Leave the Greek to me. How about that? How about that?
I'm sorry. Was it Milo? And like I at least got the first one. That last one, you
The
just
last one, no. You know you did not.
why? I
No,
got the
not
why.
even close. There was a Y, 7 N's, 3 S's, a Q, upside down though, and no.
Fucking starts talking to me like a green olive all of a fucking sudden. Anytime I fuck up a Greek word, he's like, "Ah, legs."
Yeah,
And,
you
and
don't
you're,
understand. The Greek came before. It has taught you everything you have. Just so you
oh,
know. Just so you know.
fuck you and having a decent culture. Like, what am I supposed to tell you about?
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's
Like,
honestly, I never
I was an
appreciated it
indentured
until
servant. We had to pay to live. Suck on that. If you look back in your history, we probably owe you $5. Sorry. Like, and you're sitting here talking like a fine wine, and it's just I'm sitting here like, do I have to wipe my shoes off before I go in the eating hole?
in the eating hole. That's definitely how that works. Oh God.
Oh well, no. Hey, I'm sorry. I know how log cabins were, and there was an eating hole. I'm sure that's what it was called at one time, an eating section. Animorphs! No way! That's the best. That needs to be a cover. Fans, fan fiction time. John Goodman's dead. The world is in dire straits. We don't know what to do with ourselves.
Only Joe
That's
Rogan
why
can save him.
transforming Shetland pony Joe Rogan and his ivermectin needs to save the world.
This
With
is so
his
good.
partner, grenade quarterback tossing Aaron Rodgers, as they go around fighting crime,
And solving
fighting
John
the
Goodman's
news
murder.
media, uncanceling the news media, and making love all the way through the area. One tight end at a time.
Oh, really? Pun intended.
I was hoping for. That's what I was going for. What you guys didn't get the intended pun? I
Oh,
was
I got
really
it.
laying it on
I
thick. I
got it.
was like they will across country because in this fan fiction they have sex. Is what I'm saying. Fan fiction. See, that's how I got away from slander because we're talking about fan
Fan
fiction.
fiction.
So, no, I want to see it on the presses. I want to at least see chapter 1 by next week, guys.
A friend that's watching keeps on sending me pictures of Joe Rogan turning into a horse,
It's
and I'm loving it.
that's the best.
I like listening to Joe Rogan, but at the same time, like I listen to him and I also adhere to his, hey, I'm an idiot, don't listen to me. And I'm like, great. But he's an entertaining interviewer and he has interesting guests.
I guess I hope
But
that didn't come off that way. Like this was an indictment really on Aaron Rodgers and Joe Rogan, but more the faith that they have these people
yes,
have as fandom.
the complete unwillingness to see that it's entertainment. Like this is fattertainment, as we've discussed, which is our new buzzword. That's for sure. We're gonna have meetings about fattertainment.
Well, it's just a simple fact is you're not Joe Rogan and you're not Aaron Rodgers. So
no,
if they go to the doctor
they are
and say
athlete
this,
level health.
yeah,
Okay, and have athlete level money. So,
yes,
and if you don't have both, not just one, both of those things, not gonna fly. It's not gonna fly.
Dino owns land. And he still looks that way, so that's the case in point. Like you have to have
Sure.
all the point. See, I don't own land, hence the teeth. It just goes. That's how you know. It's called social structure, but it's very. It happens. It's just what it is.
Every
He's
time.
got. He's got a decent set of grill. I got Applebee's 2 for 10. The 2 for 20 in my mouth right now.
I told my wife about how you keep on saying that I own land, and I sent her what I responded at one point. She was like, "Don't say that." I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "Because people don't need to know that you own land." And I'm like, "But I do own land."
You should be proud of it.
I'm
Like
proud of
that's
it.
the hidden joke
I
about
am.
it all.
Well,
Is
I
is
explained. I'm like,
I'm teasing you because I'm very jealous, and
tech,
I'm
technically, I own land in 4 countries, which I'm like, so I'm like, yeah.
see that's where I get it. Like that's where he's like he doesn't have to throw. Did you hear that? Was Dino's dick hitting the table right there? I'm sorry, dude.
It wasn't more of a clap. It was more of a just like
It's
a meaty fall.
if I had a glass of water on the table, I'd reenact a Jurassic Park scene right then. It was just his ego. It wouldn't even be a
Yeah.
RAR from a RHAW RAR from any Dino going on. It'd just be him going, I own land in 4 countries. Quick, let's go! Run! Ricotta's better than cottage cheese. Like
That's not even a debate. That's not a debate. That is a fact. Okay. If you are eating
that's
cottage cheese, you're doing it for dietary reasons or like you've committed crimes. That's your punishment. You're in jail, so you only get cottage cheese. Okay?
that's where the dinosaur goes. Cat, no, that's not even a thing. It's real. You, Steven Spielberg, come here. We
Where are the feathers on those dinosaurs, guy? Come here. Come here. We need to talk, all right? Listen, source
son of a
material. It's very
bitch.
important to me. That's
Dear Lord.
why G.I. Joe, I loved watching G.I. Joe. Why? Because it was just as ridiculous as the show. Loved it. It made no
Very
sense.
true.
No sense whatsoever. But The Rock was in it. That's good enough for me.
Well, even people even remember the ones before. Like there's like 2 GI Joe. There's one before The Rock. There's like a
There was
lot of.
there's a lot of heavy hitters in the first one that did not come back for the second one. I was like, hey, that's how you know he sucked. So
Did Marlon Wayans didn't come back? Did he? I don't think he came back. He's probably calling.
wait,
Hey,
he probably I don't know about that because they have money. Wayne's have big like. Wait, did you grow up with In Living Color?
yeah. No, I did, but
Okay.
come on. They're like, I guess the way it is, they had their moments, but their style of comedy's been done so
Yeah.
much it's been overplayed, and that's not their fault. Again, if you listen to the beginning of this stream, it's political production companies and shit
Yeah.
took over the scary movie franchise when they didn't want to do it anymore and shit like
Yeah.
that. But
And
what they've been
they've gotten
producing,
sincerely like they've gotten heavily worse, right?
dude, their newest ones aren't the best.
Yeah.
But I hear
The first
Marlon's.
one wasn't the best, okay? Like the
Yeah,
first one, you're going, this is not a good movie. Entertaining, and it is entertaining, and that's why
yeah.
it's remember that there are all those other spin-offs too, right? Where scary movie, like there's scary movie, but then there's also like
They turned him into the
don't
movies.
well
We got
don't
the epic movie, disaster movie, Meet the Spartans, and then I Know
yeah
What You Did to the 40-Year-Old Virgin less, and
no
then
no,
they
no
started.
I was thinking of Don't Be a Menace to Society, like
Oh, the
Big Beautiful
original.
Hood, like yeah, like those kind of ones too. Where I'm like, these guys have made bank over the years, right? Like they have a huge amount of source, and on top of that, they're also popular comedians, right? So
Well, I
as a
think
production company, they're definitely doing good.
I like Don't Be a Menace in the Hood, but that goes back to what we talked about, it's nostalgia, because that's basically all those movies at the time. You got your message movies that were
Were
trying
you
to warn us about gangs
were
and the
you old enough to
influence.
see Higher Learning in the theater?
Not in the theater, but I am
No.
sure I've seen it. Now, did it affect me to the point where I could recite anything about it? No. But also that one with Jada Pinkett, Jacob's lyric. Again, I love that movie, but I can't tell you a great bit about it because it didn't.
Yeah, it doesn't resonate necessarily as well.
And
Like
I'm
I
not
thought
saying
Higher
because I
Learning
know
was
that's a
pretty good.
very resonating film to a whole
Yeah,
culture of people. I'm not trying
multiple
to.
cultures, multiple
I'm
cultures.
not even trying to. It's a great fucking movie. It's a. To me, it reminds me. I know it's gonna sound. It reminds me of a film noir because of how it's filmed and the
Yeah.
people how they talk and I love that style, that grittiness. There's realness to it in cinema that
Well,
comes from that film uh,
yeah.
that you just can't get anywhere. One of my favorite movies ever is The Salton Sea with Val Kilmer. If you've never seen it, it's an amazing movie. It's about a guy's slip into meth addiction and
Oof, yeah,
it's
no
really
thanks.
it has here's here's how fuck a movie nerd I am. It has two of my favorite actors, Val Kilmer, because Val Kilmer plays in another one of my favorite movies called Felon. Great movie about prison and prison culture, which is hits too close to home in some aspects. But Val Kilmer and Peter Sarsgaard from
Peter Skarsgård is an incredible actor.
love Peter Sarsgaard.
Yes.
He was also in Garden State, which is another one of my favorites.
A lot of people hate Garden State. I thought it was a great coming of age movie. It was fantastic.
If you hate Garden State, you've never been miserable to the point you never wanted to get out of bed. If you've been miserable in a slouching depression over things that were beyond your control, then this is the movie for you. Because I believe that's why people feel you feel no, the movie's bad. The fucking it's not like we're talking about I'm trying to
Listen,
put a
listen.
bow
That
on it.
was
Garden
you
State's sad as
almost
shit.
got it twice. Okay, let's
I
be honest.
know.
You
I
turned it
know.
and then you went back, and I'm like, okay, well now you put it back on me. I can't do anything with that. But
But no, not Garden State. Well, yeah. But
no,
I think that's if you've ever felt, and I think this was at a time when that came out because there's a few movies. Another one, alternative one, Igby Goes Down with Kieran Culkin, Macaulay Culkin's brother,
I think
is
I've
in it.
seen that, but I do not remember it.
It's a
I'm pretty
movie.
sure I saw it because Kieran
Every
Culkin is a great actor.
great, great. That movies to me signify a part of my life where I didn't know what to do.
Okay, yeah,
The conventional norms that were set out for me are something I didn't want to do. My
yeah,
dreams were so far out unattainable that I didn't know how to even begin to get them. And the
yeah,
conventional life that I was living was making me mindly depressed.
sure,
And to the
that makes
point
sense.
where I related to the opening scene in Garden State where he's dreaming of a plane going down and he just wants some air. Like some of that connection to the character and the feelings I was feeling of hopelessness at the time, of just direction of what you're supposed to do as not only a 23, 25-year old male, just as 23 or 25. You're out of college. No more excuses. Adult or shut up. This is your
Yeah,
making break of homelessness to whatever you're going to make to the rest of your life. You know, and it seems weird, but that's it. And what do you want to be? Who are you really? This is all the shit if that I liked, and some of the stuff
yeah,
you don't even get till later on. And Igby goes down and starts at maybe a little bit younger in high school age, and
yeah.
Garden State's adult. Zach Braff wrote that whole damn thing from
Yeah, you did a great job. I thought it
really
was.
good
I thought
movie.
it was a very enjoyable story and very relevant. I found, and I don't have as long of an explanation as you did there, Tim. But yeah, in the same sense, where you're looking at going, yeah, because you know what, there's like, I hate to say it this way, it's like I was taught, the way I was educated was to always know that there will be times when you won't know what to do. And your skill set as somebody who can lead or someone who can, um, be the main character has to be ready to make even the wrong decision at times. And it sucks and you got to live through it. You got to recover after it. But it's being able to make the call that makes you, and I hate to say this in today's climate with everything, but that's what made you a man, was being able to decide on a course of action, being able to say, you know what, that's not for me. People, and you know what, how many times people be like, man, but you can make so much money. Yeah, but that's not for me. It's
You
just not
shouldn't
for
have to
me.
apologize for it because
I don't
each
think so.
generation, I believe, decides. Because right now they're smashing genders, they're doing all that.
Sure.
Now, cool, but we can't be naive to the fact that we grew up in a different era, and that was to us there was more defined. I'm not going to exactly what you said.
There
I
are
should
roles.
say there was, and whether right or wrong, that's society at the time was saying if you didn't do this as a man, you weren't necessarily a man. And even as a, the reason I say this because as an ego, I'm very left guy, left leaning dude. But
No.
me sitting at home, not working, all that affects my ego because I was raised. Your worth is what you provide for the family. and
On
based
yeah,
on a very financial, materialistic way.
listen, this is the interesting part about this, Tim, is what's sexist is how we treat people in every role. What isn't sexist is recognizing that there are certain roles that need to be filled, such as someone who is integrated in a child's life as a parent, who's there and able to add the extra care and value that comes with running a home, is a valuable role in a child's upbringing and in a family unit, right? An important role is someone who is out there who's making money to provide for the family. Those are important roles. The sexist part was where he said, "Well, women can't work." No, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Women are so hard. Are you kidding me? I have literally watched women beat the crap out of men verbally and just destroy a man. Why? Because they were smarter, better equipped, and just had a bigger set of fucking balls on them.
I have not seen my aunts or any woman in my life except a man that was stronger than them, if that makes sense. They were
Okay.
always the strongest person in the relationship, both
Yeah,
mentally, maybe
sure.
not
Okay.
physically, but they
Yeah, I
would hold
understand.
their own. I'm not going to say like
Well, they
you
wouldn't
just,
back down.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But they were always the leader without being leader, like the queen. They would always like my mom in various marriages. She got married to Ed 4 different times, so but she always put up this thing where, yeah, we had this, but when we go out, we're a family. He wants, he's got a very, he's got egos. He wants to feel like this. I'll do this.
sure.
Yin and yang when it comes to relationship. My mom was always good at finding the benefits of a relationship in the communication. The
Yeah,
love was her problem. Like that was, and that's hard to admit, but that's true. Some people
yeah,
just are not capable of those things. But yeah, I shit, dude. Like I
yeah.
think that's where it goes.
Well,
I don't think.
that's the thing.
Well,
It's
that's why, and even in our sitcoms growing up, that's where I was going with this.
yeah. Oh yeah,
King of Queens, everyone loves Raymond.
yeah.
Uh, Roseanne, Simpsons. Even to some extent, the Bundys, which I that's home. That's home.
I loved. I still
The
watch clips of Al Bundy being Al Bundy, and it makes me laugh every time. And honestly, some of my best material is reworked Al Bundy material just for making fun of fat people. And I'm like,
dude,
it's good, so good,
there's
man, so good.
there's actually in the last season there's 4 episodes and they're two back to back. They are. They
That's
are.
right.
Walkie talkies are gender neutral.
Yeah, that is a thing. That is definitely
That says so right on the box now. It
yeah.
says no GMOs,
No GMO,
gluten free,
genderless.
and you can take this into any bathroom.
No cameras added. Yeah.
Don't
So
want to
yeah,
Chuck Berry this. You just want to have a conversation on the toilet. We'll say like that's something we should walkie talkie. That's what you gotta do. Set up a thing where you're walkie talkie and two people chit at the same time. How's it going, brother? Over. Bleep. And the other guy's sitting in the stall like, what the fuck is I am about done here. Bloop. Over. Oh no, there's no toilet paper. Code red. Code red. Bloop. Over.
uh, so I volunteered at an old age home for a special event that they would have every year, and I would get a walkie-talkie because I was working security there, and like not unofficially, like it was just eyes and ears and a presence. That's and I'm like, and I'm a giant, so it was perfect for them. Um, and I would take the walkie-talkie into the bathroom, and while taking a shit, I would just be like, "Hey, where's this guy? Somebody find him! Somebody find him! Well, yeah, call me on channel 6." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, what's up?" I'm like, "I'm pooping." He's like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "So much. Come see, it's huge." Just because I'm an asshole.
My
But
son's at that. Like my son was playing with our wife and his mom, and the speaker set up because I know Code Brown is awesome walkie talkie because they set up where they call on Facebook Messenger because they have two different consoles. It's just easier for them to talk.
Sure.
So I start making the jokes I always do. When my wife's here, I'll get the fart machine out and I'll blare it like, "Babe, dude." She'd be like, "That's the dog," and I'm like, "It would have blew him in half. He's only this big."
It's
Like
so mean, but
his
such a good
colon would
bit.
be on the ground. I know he's not. He would pop like a pinata. You can't do that to him. And he's like, we know what that was, and one of them just started like a machine gun. I was like, machine gun fire, and I was acting like it was me at this. I was like, ah, and my son died. He died. We had to revive him. That was the funniest thing ever, and I've never felt more proud. Like I could write jokes for days, but that was the best thing ever.
Oh
Was
yeah,
it just
that's
oh
top tier
dude,
laughter though. That's
he's
top.
loving it right now. Like words that are supposed to be dirty, but I could say around him are key right now. Like balls, hilarious.
Do you go formal and be like the testicles?
No, oh, we used to. I'm a fucking idiot. I used to say, I don't know why. I don't know. I have to think. I used to say, oh, it's so hot out here. It feels like a bunch floppy nut sacks. Like you go out, it's just like covers your face. It's just stifling. It's uncomfortable. So you just push them out of the way, but it's always there. So it's just like a bunch. It just keep flop. It's like a Rolodex of balls. It's a Rolodex, and it's just awful. And
So
I say
I
nut sacks a
like
lot. So I probably should, but it's a funny word. Nut sack
it's a hilarious word. That's for sure. It's
is.
a hilarious word. Um,
What's wrong with that?
but why were they on your face? This is what I'm.
Have you ever? Okay, the joke started. I used to say this joke all the time. You go outside, it feels so hot, it feels like a sauna. So I'd be like, "It's so hot, it feels like a bunch of old guys are in their towels, just sitting here. It's so hot." Ha ha. Never landed. Awful joke. But
Yeah.
it just started more and more to where I kept going with that imagery until I walked outside. I was like, this is stifling. Like I'm getting suffocated in my head. Just been since. So if you ever yeah, or ball soup on hot summer day. You got ball
Oh,
soup going down there. You need some powder, and then you're making pancakes or panini press from scratch. You got some flour on each end.
you're making tortillas. Because your legs go click, tortilla falls
Oh,
down your legs. That's how that works.
is that real? Because that's the second place I've heard it. American Dad did that too. When Steve went to Tijuana. It makes me think that Ortega is just, I'm getting some thigh bread. That's what it is, just yeasty thigh bread. And I don't think it should have any yeast.
That's that's just a horrible statement in general.
I'm not sure. I'm not a nutritionist or know a lot about food,
Yeah,
obviously.
really, I would have thought that's definitely
Really?
your day job.
You gotta double
I am surprised, sir.
Oh, Lord.
What are you thinking? Come on. I'm no dietitian. Yeah, no shit, guy. Neither one of us got that as a career option a long time ago.
Imagine if that's what happened, like we're in the book The Giver, and we each drew dietitian. I'm like, motherfucking what? Cheeseburgers and pizza. You guys like bacon? You're
Keeping the
getting it off.
population low and the good times up, baby. That's what we do.
Hey, you know those pills that take away all the pain and memories? We got this thing called a sugar shot now. Takes away all that, gives you all that nutrition your body needs to live and breathe and stuff
Yeah,
without you passing out.
that's what you got to do. What you got to do, people.
Oh, did you read The Giver? Was that like a high school or a school thing up there?
I did. So, okay, this is what happened to me was that for anyone who doesn't know, so I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. I was a Jehovah's Witness in my adult, and I
Oh,
stopped
okay.
years ago. Right. So, with that, I was regularly reading the Bible and literature on the Bible uh, my whole life. So when it came, and this is the weird thing about religion was that the reason we were religious was my father wanted a relationship with God. Okay, but he never, because that was forbidden. when he was young, and that was an important thing that was missing out of his life, right? So when you go to the other side, I was raised in that, but that means that my time was dedicated there. And your perspective is that everything I do is just to facilitate me serving God, right? So that means that when I was given, and my perspective was the same, was in school, like English teachers, they hated my ass because I could literally talk about any subject to death and I would be knowledgeable enough because I was a smart guy, but it was like, read this book. And I'm like, why am I reading that? How is this going to benefit me? How is this book going to, like, you know what I mean? That perspective was like, no, I read the Bible because it teaches me how to be a good person and what God wants of me to serve him, right? I know this, and there's a lot of points that we can argue about that, but that's the
No,
general consensus, right?
it
So
wasn't an arguing point. It's more
don't
of a
lie to me.
no. It's contributing. Actually, that was going to be a lie, but fuck you. And you go ahead.
So, but that's the whole thing, right? Is why would I had to literally put in just enough effort in school to pass. I didn't need to do more than that because my time was better spent learning about God and that and how to
It's
be
a
a good
banned
person.
book here in the States, I do believe, because in the universe they got rid of religion for their
Oh,
utopia.
for oh yeah, that's definitely gonna get banned.
Well,
That's
that's
it's
the thing about it, is when they come down to it,
yeah,
what makes a utopia? Like the book starts out with no one ever seeing color, no one having feelings of love, and no one having feelings of joy. But also, you have no if you have no feelings of snow. Everything's the same climate temperature. But if you don't do anything to break anything, and if there is, you could take a pill and it fixes you immediately, so there's no pain. So no one knows what it feels like to break a bone. That's a big thing. Like he goes snowing, because that's what the giver is. The giver is. I feel good talking because it's actually cool. The giver is in this mythical universe knows all the memories the people don't and holds all the feelings the people don't. So like sledding,
okay.
none of these people know the concept or could sled. He has the memory. And well, he's getting old and dying. Someone has to replace him. So now he's given all these memories
So
to
he's hold
kids.
on. So this guy is the caretaker of all of these memories that nobody else has.
Everything. Yes. And if he dies without giving him, he loses it. So no one knows the reason for the why they're living the way they do.
Huh.
He, he's like Gandalf, basically, in the book. He comes out and he has all his memories, so he teaches them the good shit. Like, hey, and gets him off the pills. You're not going to be on the pills anymore. Do this because in their society, you go to school and then you get evaluated. And then after your evaluation, you get put
Yeah.
in a job. And that's
Right.
your job until you go to a nursing home where they kill you after a certain day. And you have
Okay.
your
Like the lobster. Okay.
yeah, basically that's it. And if you're manual labor, you're manual labor. Do this. Well, everyone's shocked. He becomes the giver. Like
Oh.
that's something. It's a unique thing. Well, he's like he doesn't know why, so he
Yeah. It's
starts
a
doing these
special
things.
position. It's yeah.
Yeah. He gets off the pills, so he starts seeing actual color because everything they see is Pleasantville world. No,
Okay.
nothing. He starts seeing color and start seeing how the world works and asking more questions. So I start getting feelings. One of the first ones I remember is him sledding. Loves it, the coldness and all that's thrilling. So to choose him a lesson, he gives them another feeling, and this time he breaks his leg in the memory, and he feels all that pain, throwing up, the wretchedness, the fire, the poke. Wakes up demanding a pill. Guy's like, "Nah, you have to live with this memory. That's how it works." So he has to walk home. So he walks home with his girl. He starts to fall in love with girl, but the problem is there is no love in this world. She doesn't feel the same way because she takes the pills to get suppressing. And here's another why it's booked. He goes on to talk about stirrings. Stirrings is a big thing in the book, but stirrings are basically naughty dreams teenagers have. And the
Yeah.
pills suppress those. He starts having them again and stuff. But the big thing is he's the second giver in the last while. The first giver got some of these knowledge, went crazy and left. he is a giver, and in the subsection, his family, his father is a caregiver
Okay.
to a pediatrician, and they're caring for a baby as surrogates and seeing if he can make it. And he comes to find out the process, what they do to babies that don't make it,
Oh,
learning disabilities. It's Spartan life. You
right.
hear this criteria, or
Yep.
you don't, and you get euthanized.
Later.
The giver actually shows the son what they do and all this and tells him all this. And that's the changing point because the kid was up to die. So he grabs the kid, flees the area as far as he can. And it leaves an open ending. There's only, here's the main thing the giver will give him everything in the book, but he won't give him seeing beyond, whatever beyond.
Yeah.
He won't give him the thing called listening beyond, basically music. At the end, the guy takes the baby, runs as far as he can till it comes to a desolate area with a snowy hill. So he decides to go snowing with the kid one last time. He goes snowing down the hill with the kid, and then it ends with him going, "It sounds like I hear something in the distance," implying that it's music. And the book. You never find out what happens to the kid, the town, the giver, the baby, or anything. It's open ended for that reason, which I like to call lazy writer syndrome or not having balls. But before that, it's a main book for some reason. We were supposed to read in a lot of school or elementary schools around here, and I don't
When
know
did
why
That's an
it
old book, right?
it's older. It's a book. It's a movie now with Jeff Bridges. I don't know if it was really that good, but I watched it. I didn't watch it. I meant, but yeah, dude, it was more of like I remember it mostly because we had to do a project on what was our utopian society. How would you make a utopian society? Because the reason they had no color is color strikes emotion in people. That was their whole thing in this society was to limit and control everyone's emotions and instincts to the point they're almost like and
I have a question. That ending, which I number one, while you say lazy writing, I say it gives you the opportunity to create the rest of the universe on your own. But him he possibly hearing something that could have been music, do you think that alludes to just the idea of how detrimental isolation is? The idea that their environment was controlled by these pills in this scenario where people who were unfit weren't mixed versus outside of that it wasn't like that. Maybe they had some music, like you know what I mean. Like if it was an isolated, like Demolition Man, you know. Here, that's like yeah, but the rest of the world is all still falling apart and doing its thing. You know?
it's complicated for my end, I guess, on that one. Because on the first part, I would say you said, well, it leaves it open for the reader and all that. The reason you write a book is because you have something to say. Finish with what you got to say. Is my opinion on that. You don't let you don't. I don't give you a meal, a three-course meal, and then tell you to make your own dessert. Give you a cake box at the end and say, hey, use your imagination. Would have been really good, huh? It just to me, it just seems almost like a cop out because if you're going to say something, say it. Now, on that aspect, on that, he's not in the book. He's not allowed to hear shit like that. For him to hear that means he's growing supernatural powers. Or to me, uh, this is where you're going to get your whole ending. I guess this is where your aspect is. It to me, I'm a Glim person. He was
No,
hallucinating before he died,
or his pills
but
wore off.
no, well, the pills he did have the pills all the time. The pills were always wore off for months. He hasn't been on that. He just shouldn't have heard
Oh,
that. So the other alternative is he's so far out of the loop that he's actually into another area, like Mad Max style. It's not
yeah.
completely desolate, and he's here in a different area. Um,
Well, it might be
which,
the first time he's hearing about society, like hearing
yeah,
commotion, right? Like
yeah,
he's been alone for so long.
I guess it would be a metaphor to what you were saying, like from isolation to open book,
Do you think
like
that a
endless
writer?
possibilities.
Do you think that a writer would do that specifically to? leave it open to come back to it, or do you think that they just couldn't decide how they wanted it to end?
I just think from my own personal writings, I guess I do that. They're just too afraid to nail down a narrative. If they nail down an ending, it would somehow put a plot hole into what they were trying to say before. That's a lot of things. A lot of people, when they write shit, forget. Like when you get to an ending, unless you really just want to write a shitty fucking book, it's all got to make sense and all the things that got to go together. So their ending, I think sometimes they write themselves in a way they
Yeah.
can only do that for the simple fact is that's what they were. They go to the ending they were going to
Pull
have
your mic
done.
down because I can't hear you every so often.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you're going to the ending you were going to,
Yeah.
like now, it just wouldn't work. It just, in my opinion. Uh, so,
Interesting. By the way,
well,
I'm eating pumpkin pie.
oh, it's good. It looked good. I knew
Sorry.
what it was. I could
I
smell
was
it from here.
I'm high and I'm like, hey, I remember you have pumpkin pie. Can you bring me down slice of pumpkin pie? She's like, right now? And I'm like, yeah, I really want pumpkin pie. I'm high and I want pumpkin pie. God damn it.
The
But
reason I jump to this conclusion so hard is when they tell you in writing every story, they tell you to break it down beginning, middle, and end. They tell
yeah.
you to collect all the dots and everything. So you're telling me she wrote this book and she knew immediately the end was going to be open ended.
Hmm.
That seems like yeah, I'm going to build a house. What's your foundation? Sand. You know, like you did one of your parts isn't correct. It may work for a little bit, but like that's why I'm saying like logically, if that is correct, then they went on a untaught thing I've never heard before in writing, where you are writing to your ending, where you only do right to your climax, and then after that, you just throw them a napkin and tell them to clean themselves up. Like I don't know what you got. Like that's kind of what it feels like in some of these books. They let you pop, and then you're like, "Oh, you disgust me. Here's a towel. There's $5
Feels
on
like my
the
Saturday night every time.
yeah. So here's $5 on the nightstand. You know, and it's just like
I'll expect change.
right. So um, that's how I feel, but I've always felt that way. I always got pissed off, even when movies did that or anything did that, because I feel like as a writer, director, movie, and anything, you have to give them an ending.
Yeah.
You know, unless that's
No.
the plan. Even if it's a to be continued, you're gonna sit here and tell me, say it elsewhere, that where every this 9 year long show is all about a kid staring at a snow globe. They decide to make a stand and you can't. Like there's so many stands. There's no way you can look stupid in my eyes other than not making one. Like at least show me your full narrative. Like now we get to discuss the characters, right? That's what they want.
Yeah.
Ooh, we get to discuss the book lives on in our heads. You know why? Because you didn't do your fucking job and ended.
Yeah.
You could have wrote another book and expanded on this territory. You could have done all this. You failed to do the bare minimum, and now us as a society, as a community, have to do your job and finish it. Maybe it's more of just that's the way I look at it. I don't think it's more of an artistic ploy at all. It's more of a just fucking laziness. Like, and I guess harsh maybe, but I hate it. There's not been. I don't think it's been done right one time.
I don't disagree with you, but you're kind of an asshole about it.
I am 100% a dick.
You know,
I ain't gonna lie.
like, but you have there's a reason. Like it's principled. Um, but it's like at the same time, yeah, I don't let that bug me. Like I'm
I
more
don't like that fuck.
yeah. Okay, you ended it that way. All right, that's fine. Like
I
it's
like
not. It's more so that I am a firm believer that every movie has some thing, some small conversation or imagery that is actually the basis for the entire movie. Okay. In that, um, I think we talked about this. Copland.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sliced Alone. Good
Right.
movie.
So Ray Liotta tells him, "You hit traffic. What do? Turn right. You got to go left, you turn right anyway. Why? You keep your momentum going. You're going to get there faster if you turn right. Evade the traffic, try and go a different way. Make a bigger loop faster, and you'll get to your place sooner. That was the idea, or the actual premise of the movie, was that if you're stuck in traffic, you're going to be stuck in traffic. Even though, the most direct way isn't necessarily the fastest. Why? Because you're stuck in traffic. You have to go somewhere you're not to get to that place you want to be. Because if you stay where you are, you're never going to get to the place where you want to go, because there's always traffic. Sorry, I had to burp.
It
I made a
it
choice.
actually, I'm looking up a movie right now. You might know Michael Douglas. He plays
Falling,
an
falling down. No,
yep,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. Falling down. When how long do you think it's going to be until we completely fuck up what that movie's supposed to be about and use that as a symbol as American citizen fighting what's right? We're just waiting for the right people to
I
watch that
haven't,
movie again.
I haven't seen that movie in quite some time.
Oh,
So, I remember that he's freaking out. I remember the McDonald's scene, and that's all I remember, to be honest with you. But he's not a good person, right?
no, he never was. The whole
Yeah,
time he's charismatic and likable, and you're sympathetic to him. But when you find out the whole story at the end, that you're basically watching this guy march through town to go murder his family, it's
yeah.
not really a good movie.
No,
But he does it using military gear, and he fights the status quo, as he says, and corporations and these people, governments misspending money on the turnpike for useless shit, you know. And how many times can someone with our fucking meme, stupid rhetoric here in the States going on, look at that and go, that's a story of a American citizen fighting for his ideals, and change that into a political movie for the human when it's really a depressing, sad look of
yeah.
a guy falling down, basically that, and how society maybe when you're falling down doesn't do its best to help you up.
Well, it's specifically the fact that his intent with falling down was to never get back up.
Yeah, he was
Whereas,
doing,
yeah,
and he's going to hurt he's going to
everyone
hurt
on the
every.
way down, and he was staying down. His decision was to not go any further, and he was going to make sure that everyone was included in it.
He
Right?
blamed everyone for the problems he himself created, and he was a
It's
racist. It's blatant in the movie. I'm not. He's
yeah.
a racist, bigoted piece of shit.
And,
Uh,
well, and that's the same thing like American History X, which is a not only good movie, it's a fantastic movie, specifically because it tells you it's very much an expansion of the parable of the bird in winter. Have you heard that parable?
yes,
It's where a bird is flying and he's left too late, so he gets frozen. While he gets frozen solid, he falls from the sky, and is going to die. Now, in the meantime, what happens is a dog comes over and poops on him. Now, because of the heat of the poop, he starts to thaw. He's saved from death, and he's so happy. He starts chirping and chirping and chirping and chirping. All of a sudden, something comes over and rubs all the poop off of him because he heard the chirping, and it's a cat, and the cat eats him. And the parable is that, listen, not everyone that shits on you is your enemy, and not everyone who gets you out of shit is your friend.
yep.
And that's the whole thing, is in American History X. That's exactly where you don't know what you don't know until it's too late, but then you'll know it forever. The question
I
is, when
think
you find out, will you survive? Right?
some of the most poignant scenes in that movie. We got series here, but it fucking
We
happens
got
in
really
3 hours.
serious, but
It's
yeah,
going to happen in 3 goddamn hours, where it can't be funny all
we
the
got
time.
8 hours coming in a couple weeks, so
We're humans. We're humans. So,
50
we're
50.
classified as most. Depending.
Livestock, a little bit
Yeah, that's
livestock.
what I was getting ready to say. We're definitely hooved animals at least.
It's been a while,
But
so maybe.
it's weird, man. I
Nail
agree.
salons have been
It got
closed a
serious.
long
Oh, the
time.
sign that they don't see the most is before he shaves his head. Edward, and he's talking to uh, the mother's first date with the Jewish teacher.
Yeah.
That was the key in there. They were
Yeah.
always kind of raised that way.
Yeah.
They were raised from hate from their father. Their
So
father taught that hate.
yeah, their father embraced that hate,
Yes.
and he
And when he
taught he
died,
taught on those guidelines. And by chance, the way he died, all it does was just amp everything up to 11, which, like, you watch it and you're going, yeah, that makes total sense. And the problem was, and this is where I loved, like, Cisco was the principal, and he's a really talented actor and does not do enough work, because he, in American History X, he was top tier, right? And he knew 100% that this isn't the truth. I know you're better than this. And all it was a series of events that resulted in an
I agree. Do we completely mic out here in a second? Was it too serious for Twitch? We get too serious for Twitch. That just might happen. It gets late. Those Canadian winters. See, hey man, I was
hey,
getting ready to go in a big story how there's a bunch of maple elves connecting your Wi-Fi together. Sometimes it just doesn't work, but you caught me. I wasn't even going to get into it.
I'm gonna write 2:35 in it, just so I know to check on that.
Oh no, it's fine. It's bound to happen. Yeah, this is the
Oh
longest
yeah,
podcast we've ever done, so this has been fun.
oh yeah.
Um,
So
but
I was
yeah,
saying about this, like, dude, he knew and he fought for it and he won, and that, and the best part was, yes, jail changed him, but it opened his eyes to the real world, and that's the big ticket item in there, you know.
I guess I'm an anomaly. I guess when you look at that stuff, I never had a father that I looked up blindly. Now, I will tell you that has affected me in my
Oh yeah,
life where I use surrogate father figures or mother figures
yeah,
like fucking crazy. Like my boss at IGA said something, hurt my feelings. And I go home and realize it's like, yeah, she's my fucking boss. She ain't my mom. She's not
yeah,
here to coddle. But I was trying to, because I didn't have that or I was trying to fill that
sure,
void. I've done it with my friends. Like, oh, why would he treat me like that? Because you were a dick. What the fuck? You want him to sit down and share a beer with you and teach you how to throw a ball? Like, what the fuck? He's not your dad. Like, expecting
yeah,
things out of that. So
yeah,
when I see that where the son followed the son and the son follows the father in the footsteps so much, it's crazy to me. Because the whole time I was watching other surrogate fathers and my mom, and I was
hmm,
like, they're fucking insane. And I was fully aware of how fucking insane they were. And I
yeah,
just assumed all other family was the same way. Like I grew up going, yeah, you're kind of a bunch of, uneducated racist pricks sometimes,
yeah,
and it sucks, but I'm not going to be that way. I still love them, but I made a valuable choice to make some of my decisions not theirs for that reason.
absolutely,
And I
absolutely,
just, it feels like some people, but I never had that emotional uh,
yeah. But that's
barrier
missing.
that might happen where it might make it easier. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But you're wrong. It doesn't make it easier. We all, so there, that vulnerability exists in people who have fatherly figures and motherly figures. Like, those necessities in our existence are, like, going back to the fact that we forget how important the role is, and we've started to think on the idea of who it is, right? And that's why it's like those in people who influence you at very, very important stages of your mental growth as a person are, uh it's an insane, like, we all have those gaps in various ways,
Okay.
right? It's not like, because the fact is, like, I explained this to my father before he passed away, and we had a good laugh about it. Was actually, my mom brought it up and made a good laugh. Was that grade 9? So up until grade 9, I was the biggest guy, but I was a loser, right? I wasn't a cool guy. Grade 9 hit, high school. I already knew a ton of people in the high school, so I had somewhere to sit. And literally, when I walked in, I had waved to 6 people, and I was able to pick who I was sitting with. No one was in my grade. I sat down immediately, and when I sat down, I realized that everyone else that I knew from my previous school, that was now in grade 9, was huddled around the door, having no idea where to sit, what to do. And I was like, "Hey guys, come on over." Boom, instant popularity. It's fantastic. Now, that being said, I was in an environment where I had never, like, I was smart, never did the work. I finally started doing the work. I brought home 2 80s. Okay. So an A, my first A's ever in school. My dad grabbed it, looked, says, "You could do better." Didn't bring home another A for a very long time. Not until college. Okay. And college, I was a prick about it. I wouldn't show them my report card until like I would just make it a pain in the ass for them. And then I finally show them, they're like, "You got straight A's." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not an idiot. I just was lazy as fuck." So in turn, when I told my dad that, he's like, "Well, why didn't you talk to me?" I'm like, "Oh, were you someone that I could just come and talk to at that point in my life?" And my mom literally spit out her dinner laughing because he wasn't. Right. And then he goes, "Oh, yeah, okay, maybe you have a point." But like
Well,
that changed things, right?
I need to figure out well, you were educated because here in the States, the big problem we're having with my son gets straight A's. I got straight A's. We do not apply ourselves. I know my son, I'm not saying
Okay.
nothing wrong about it, but
No,
he's
no, no.
not coming home and like, "Man, I need to learn up on this fraction or do the extra work or doing all this other stuff." He's doing what the school asked for him. And
Yes.
what I've realized is the school asked for the bare minimum.
Mm.
And that's the
Not even.
problem.
Not
Yeah,
even.
and that's the problem I had. And I see what his had. If you just give us a goal, we'll do it. If you
Yes.
don't give us a goal, we're done. And I
So
see a lot of that happening with him is like he's got it. And I know he's got to wait for the other kids and everything, but it just seems he's given a little bit more than me because it's a bigger school. But some of these small schools, they didn't have shit. Like
so
there was no
that
gifted program or anything.
yeah, I was in a gifted program. It's not any better. The the core value is not in what they teach you, it's in the access to knowledge an education gives you. Because look, school up until first year college or university, whatever you're in, up until that first year, your education has been borderline useless.
Yeah.
You may have learned some communication skills or how to absorb information through studying. Those are valuable skills that will be beneficial down the line. But
It seems like
actual knowledge, no, they're you.
academic theater
Yes. But,
and
well,
it's
you
social
know
cues
how
theater.
all of the theater works, but you can't be a play,
Yeah.
right? So your staff, you're like, "I get what all the pulleys do. I know how all the levers work. I know when the screen goes, like I know all the stuff, but I don't know how to put on a play." Right. And that's what an education gives you is the ability to create a story, a theme, an understanding, a passion, something that will draw people's emotions in and say, "Yes, that's how I feel," or "Oh my God, how could you?" Right.
All right. To bring us back around, because I got to take my dogs out, so I got to get off here and then bring us back around. You say sometimes a great book can start, doesn't have to have an ending. Since I got a GED, does that mean I have a great academic career? Because I left it open ending.
Absolutely.
That's what I do.
Yes.
Hey, I
The
let you.
sky is the limit
I
going
didn't say
forward.
what occupation I was going to do. I just left it to the interpretation. So much so they misspelled my name on the damn thing. They interpreted their own name on the document. Oh man.
Oh, I have a certificate that I belong to a fraternity, and it has a Z in the last name, and I'm like, my last name doesn't have a Z. They're like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Fuck you guys."
You don't even know, but you said like two foreign things these American people are going to be picking up. You said Z and grade 9.
Grade 9. Why don't you have grade 9?
We say ninth grade or freshman.
Oh yeah, you guys do use freshmen and sophomore. I
Hey,
don't
it
know.
doesn't. The
I
only reason I know is because I watch international
CW,
because I got
CW.
NordVPN. NordVPN keeps me so I can watch all these international stuff in their different dialects. But
He's
no,
had
seriously, Trailer Park Boys. The whole season he's trying to get his grade 9 in the show, and I was like, grade 9. Oh, and then that's good. Same like college and university. You could tell in some like the BBC, they'll say, "Oh, we went to university." Like, we went to college, smash some beers, Arizona State. Yeah, who gives a shit?
yeah.
But it's the
It's
subtle. It's the same thing, but it's like just how I love that shit. I love words. Sorry, I
no,
just
absolutely.
love.
But that's why is it's viewed as distinctly different. So when everyone says I went to college, if they went in the States, I'm like, what do you mean? Because then there's like community college, state college,
No, you're
Ivy
100% correct.
League, and all that kind of stuff. They're all colleges. Whereas here, a college would be more than a community college, almost like a trade school, but also with books. You know,
Okay, I
like
got you.
that. So there were like you could learn. You can get a chemical engineering diploma. That's so in college you get a diploma versus university you get a degree.
I could tell you the American way to figure out. If they say I went to college, it's community. It's
Okay.
community usually. If they go, I went to state, obviously it's state, and they're going to tell you about their football team that sucks.
Go
Well,
unicorns. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, Buckeyes, roll tide. Yeah, okay. We get it. All right,
You're not a
cool.
fan of sports, are you, Tim?
I love sports. I love the theory, but I think some of the stuff we put into is just insane. Like a grown man who's never had a kid go to Alabama, go, Alabama! Ooh. Like if you look into they poison trees. Alabama and Auburn come to they poison trees. First of all, it's a fucking tree. Second, didn't even know you could poison them. Alabama's teaching us shit. And not the right way.
By
But
chance. By chance.
I can tell I'm getting off. I don't even know where I'm at now because I went on this fucking. Oh yeah, they just say college, community. If they say state, they're going to tell you about their football team in their state. And if it's Ivy League, you call them boss because they usually are a goddamn boss. You be respectful. You don't know what college they went to. You just know not better than
Yeah.
yours.
The one that they would use the name for, not the state it was in. That
Right.
simple.
So
Yeah.
there's your levels.
Yeah.
It's usually how it goes. Like my mom went to college. So
Sorry. I got like 3 jokes that just came to mind. I was like, not one of them was nice. So I'm not gonna say.
I wasn't for her. She went for secretary and she couldn't type.
Yeah. Why would you go?
We didn't even own a computer. Have you ever seen someone practice typing on a little board that just has the fucking letters on it? That's sad. Where's the want laws? We need the want laws now. It was my mom two-pecking a fucking cardboard cutout of a
That's
fucking
how I type.
keyboard.
That's how I type. I can get pretty fast, but still, it's just my 2 sausage fingers.
I remember she went in and they were like, you need to type at 24 Guam with less than 3 errors. And she's like, motherfucker, they want flawlessness. You can't even backspace in here. And it literally took me till my own typing class. Like, my mom couldn't fucking type. Those are rookie numbers. Those are two-finger numbers.
Yeah.
She was getting beat by the guy with the fucking nubs. Literally, Tom Brokaw's over here typing with 2 fingers. She's like, that's my 4th mistake. That kicked me out. I can't type no more. Well, I'm glad we wasted 3.5 years on this, Mom. This seems like a good idea.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's real shit, there. Let's go get in the car we don't own yet and go to our house that we rent. I can't wait to get all this stuff in the lost name. I'm getting a fucking bad credit score. That's all I think I'm getting. It was clear at 5. It's like I looked around. I was like, "There's not going to be money for college for me, huh? College for me, huh? No, those typing things didn't work out like I thought. Those typing investments to bring in the dividends, Dino."
Fucking.
We went to a financial advisor, and that typing shit just didn't work out. We tried. We gave it a good go.
Listen, That's you know what the worst part is? That oh God. Learning to type is a great skill. Okay? It is actually a great skill. And I encourage everyone take a typing class or even do a course on it because it is a good skill to have in any field you're in. Okay? It'll show you as proficient in some sort of skill. It's a beneficial thing. A lot of people that wanted to go to war ended up just typing the entire time. And you know what? Saved their fucking life. So anyways.
If that's true, but also if you want to feel good about yourself and you're not a good typer, don't stand next to someone in the class that is great at typing because you will feel your soul leave. You're sitting there going, click, 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 damn it, click, click, and they're going, the fucking key, the fucking K is flipping out. The enters, their pinky is superhuman, like Jackie Chan doing kicks, hitting the fucking clack, clack, not even looking down. They're looking at, hey, so what'd you do this weekend, Karen? I've just been typing the fucking Gettysburg Address over here. And you're sitting here like, I got the, fuck this, voice to text. Learn my fucking slur, Google. That's how we're doing it now because Karen's being a
Oh.
bitch over here typing at 120 Guam. What is this? What's going on? Oh yeah, I didn't even need class. I've been on Google Hangouts forever. Like, oh god, no.
You're so angry, Tim.
I
Oh my
hated
God.
typing class. It's a thing. Lost family can't type. It's a hereditary thing.
Or well,
All right, I'm
uniform
out.
2 marks, but yeah, so we're
I gotta be out of here, man. My
all right.
dog is. He's not even scratching anymore. He's literally on his hind legs, going, "What's up?" Both hands in the air. Like, dude.
It's like you need me to type it out for you? Is that
Yeah, like click, click.
all right? Well, everyone, this has been Idiotsayswhut Twitches. I think we decided that Spider-Man was a good movie, an enjoyable movie, but there are some questions that we've had.
That was
I
in the
will keep
first
watching it.
hour.
That was probably the first half. We've gone some places. We've gone some
Dude, it
places.
was a
We've been
good
some things.
show.
It was a very enjoyable show, everyone. But we will be back tomorrow with Sports Ball, so check that out. And Tim has last time's meeting, or you go to D&T Network on YouTube, and there's another video there, so you can check that out. But thank you for watching. This is our outro, and we'll see you later.